everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am Little Red Dot. I hope that you are here tonight because you know that it is the finale of Witch Girl Adventures, which I think we are all terribly excited about because some things revealed themselves last game that it's kind of troubling. Kinda troubling. So, before we get into the troubled side of what it is that's happening here, let's take a second and go around. Let's meet our lovely lady crew that we have here and hear about who they are and the character that they're playing. Now, this is our finale, so if you are tuning in for the first time, please realize that they're going to give you a little bit of an explanation maybe of who their character is in terms of the kinds of magic that their witch likes to use. And, I don't know, maybe something impactful that has happened to these, you know, your witch over the last 3 days, which have been extraordinarily eventful for everyone. And then, of course, I will follow up with a recap. Yeah, so let's start at the top here. We missed her last week. She was gone but not forgotten. Our lovely RTS cosplay who is playing Percy Rosewood. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Percy?
Perfect. So I am Tiffany Alvord. I am online as RTS Cosplay. I also am a producer, player, current GM for the podcast that I run that also has Chelsea on it, which is North by Northquest. You can find that at NXN Quest everywhere or northbynorthquest.com. So that's a bit about me. As far as who I'm playing, I am playing Persephone Rosewood. She goes by Percy. She is an elementalism witch with a love of fashion and Instagram and gardening. So she is our resident, like, hashtag everything queen. And yeah, she posts a lot on Instagram. Really is like the force of documenting the room, our little sisterhood here. So that's Percy.
Yes, that is Percy. That's good. Yeah, and we're going to hear maybe where Percy was last week.
She is real excited about acing all her finals too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she did ace all her finals.
She did.
I think there were only like 2 of you that actually aced all of them.
Percy aced all her finals. She's gonna force all her roomies to study more next semester.
Well, you know, witches can't be good at everything.
Well, right. But
well,
she's gonna make them
Percy
study.
probably disagrees. Awesome, fantastic. And moving right on down the line, we have Gluttonous Geek with us.
Hi there, I am Catherine Barsonistas of The Gluttonous Geek, a geeky recipe blog based off of video games, movies, television shows, comics, and recently role-playing games. And I am the Gluttonous_geek on Twitter, as well as run the site, thegluttonousgeek.com. And I will be playing tonight Loretta Maitre. She is a conjuration witch who was raised in an alternate universe that is based entirely off of 50s and 60s sitcoms. So she loves to cook, sew, sing, and be that standard stereotypical 1950s sitcom teenager. So big reactions and acting a lot dippier than she probably actually is.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
And she's found a boy.
Yes.
There's a boy.
She met a boy. He works at the diner with her, Billy. He is very handsome, and I'm not really sure he knows what to make of her at all. But he just asked her out to her own dance, so hey, she's having a good day, considering that she just found that her entire existence was a lie, you know, only a couple of days ago.
True story.
So, but hey, the cute boy likes her, so...
That's true. There's a plus. Something going your way. And you have a date for the Yule Cotillion. True story. That's true. Mm-hmm. All right, moving right on down the line. We have Eris Savad.
Hello, I am Eris Savad. I'm a seamstress. I make dice trays and bags and all sorts of RPG goodies. I also play a lot of games, and I stream some of my crafting as well. But you don't want to hear about me. You want to hear about Raven. Raven is quite a bubbly 16-year-old. She's a bit of a jinx. Things just kind of happen to her sometimes. Like the time that she, met an old lady out behind the racing fields, and you know, she said she was going to trade her a broom for some bubbleberry bun, and Raven got caught with the bubbleberry bun in school.
True story.
She got in trouble, but she admitted it.
You did.
She got a broom out of it. So.
You did.
Super plus plus.
That's right. You learned a valuable lesson. Tell the truth.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And she is she did just buy dresses for her missing friends who didn't get to go shopping with her, and yeah. Oh, she likes alteration magic. She generally turns things into colorful birds. Is her favorite thing to do.
That's true. That is also true. Yeah, and I feel like you passed your end of the poetry exam. Didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, you
I mean,
passed poetry.
I think I ended up passing everything. I didn't do like super well, but
Oh, I see. Okay.
I passed everything.
You didn't Percy it. You Ravened
No.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. Fantastic.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have time to study that hard.
Definitely not when you're meeting ladies down by the river.
There's too many interesting things to do and places to go and people to meet.
Fantastic. Next up, we have our very own Ray Deanne. Or Renee.
Hi, I am Ray Deanne, or Renee, and oh gosh, what do I go over? I've been playing and had the wonderful pleasure of playing Morwen Locke, who is a time and space witch who is out of her time and space and also maybe sacrificing everyone at the Yule Cotillion tonight.
Possibly a
What
very true story.
What a betrayal of our sisterhood.
Oh no.
I mean, when your own, like, witch mother is basically... I say witch mother, not her maternal mom, but
Yeah, but
her
like,
mentor.
yeah, my mentor, like everything that I've learned is leading up to this moment, and I honestly thought that I was thrown by being thrown to essentially modern day Maine from centuries before, but apparently it's happening here tonight at the Yule Cotillion, and I am dressed to die for, and I hope you all are too.
I made you pancakes.
An apple pie.
Sabotage already! And last but certainly not least for our group tonight, we have Shauna with us.
Hey, Shauna Nakasone, flying source on Twitter, do art, and play in a bunch of stream games. And I am playing Jess Hana, the athletically inclined witch of the magic. So she enjoys like broom riding and all those other things, but is not great at studying. So she might take up some of those to be able to do the broom sports again next semester. But
Very
she's
true.
She is very good at healing magic and like illusion magic. So that's good because she's also a secret half werewolf. So we'll see if that.
I was about to say, that may come in more handy than we plan for this evening's festivities. We shall see. And we are missing one of our six sisters. She unfortunately is still working in her mundane job. So she is unable to join us. But that does not mean that she's not here in spirit. And I am 100% sure that our very own Marcy / Daria Deerheart will be taking the lizard to the Yule Cotillion. So we'll find out what exactly that actually entails. But if you are here, thank you again. I am Chelsea, or Little Red Dot. You can call me Dot or Chelsea or Little or whatever kind of floats your boat. But we're here to play some Witch Girls tonight. This is the fourth game of a very small little campaign that we're running, testing this game, Witch Girls, to and for the public. Which has been very exciting because I love learning new games, and this game has been an absolute blast. So when this is all said and done tonight, we're going to have a very brief little 10-minute after thing for anybody that wants to stay to just chat about the game, about what we loved about it, meaning those of us that played, what I liked about it as a DM, and where you can find more information about getting it for your own table. But if you would like to know more, you can go ahead and check this out, this link that I'm about to drop in chat. Then It's good if I spell it correctly. There we go. Where you can go check it out. More importantly, the writer has been so kind as to give us a couple bundle deals if you want to get your hands on some digital and hard copies of this. You can go to those links right there and get 20 PDFs. 20 for $25. What? And then you can also hit the other one if you want to get yourself a print copy and all the PDF bundles. You can also do that as well. Both of them are at an extreme discount just for you showing up to watch this game. So we definitely want to thank everybody over that worked on the Witch Girls game, putting it together, and show them some love by buying a copy for yourself. In addition to that, I have to talk about this purple bar above my head because it is almost full. Tonight is the last night for us to fill this drama bar. I have drama planned, but it cannot happen until the bar makes it to the end. So by giving bits, you can fill the drama bar. And tonight, you can also plan to just make a regular donation and let me know, and I'll add it to that pool as well. It's kind of a specialty thing tonight. So if we can get the drama bar to the end, drama will happen. More drama than the normal level of teen witchery drama, which is like sticky buns and things. Could be a lot darker than that. Who knows?
Could be sticky buns of the apocalypse.
Could be sticky buns of the apocalypse. So,
Oh my gosh, I want to play that game.
Are you sure we're not playing that?
basically,
I mean,
that's funny.
Sticky
So,
Buns of the Apocalypse is the name of my Flight of the Conchords cover band.
yes. So sticky buns, as those of you in chat can rightfully figure out, it has become a very important object in our game. Hey, thank you out there for that love, for that host. So specifically, this sticky bun, unplanned, turned out to be a very key component of a spell that is supposed to raise a ancient and dark witch, the fourth child. Yes, the fourth child. Thank you for that subscription. Should be the fourth child of the witch daughter, I guess you could say, of the first witch, Lilith. Her name is Echidna. I'm going to get it right eventually. And we have learned that she's in a deep slumber, but thanks to Morrowind's mentor, who she was kind of ripped from the arms of and sent to this school, much later in her witch career, we'll call it. They are trying to awaken her. The last time that she walked this earth, she shadowed the whole thing in darkness. And her witches, which are basically our knowledge of vampires, reigned supreme. And the other witches, mundanes, and the immortals, who we might actually learn a little bit about tonight too, have went into hiding. It has not been since the Second World War since we have seen real followers of her come to the forefront. You can only imagine that her followers then were part of the Nazi Party. The WWC, or the World Witches Council, put quite a kibosh on that pretty quickly. But our simple little teenage witches have spent the last 3 days, finishing up finals, meeting their new sister, going shopping with the girl that they hate probably the most, only to find out that she not only had to take them shopping, but bought their dresses for them. And more importantly, one of the sisters of this clique has been contacted by her mentor and has been told that the Yule Cotillion, happening tonight, will be the sacrificial rite to awaken her.
Oh no.
Oh no! We're gonna start with our witch we were missing last week, because I'm pretty sure Percy was off on her own little mission while we went shopping inside of the great Witches Mall.
Yes.
You were out shopping in your own mundane mall, am I correct?
Yes. So Percy's best friend from home came to visit, Sammy, and Sammy goes by they them, just so everyone's aware. So they came to visit. They're going to be Percy's date for the Yule Cotillion, and they went on a big shopping spree adventure in like a town over where they could have like a really big mall to go exploring in.
Too bad she didn't know that you guys went to the biggest mall that has ever mauled.
Percy thought she was going to the big mall.
Well, that's cool. So you did leave probably early that morning before they were all asleep, and before your sister, Daria Dearheart, had returned. You, I'm guessing, had a successful shopping trip?
Definitely. So Percy found her last few accessories that she was looking for, and Sammy found the finishing touches on their tux that they're going to wear.
Perf. So much perf. Well, you come strolling back in the Sunday of the Yule Cotillion that morning. Early, we'll say. Probably right at sunrise. As you come into your dormitory or your shared space, all your sisters lay there asleep.
Oh.
You have a bag on your bed with your name on it.
Percy is going to try to stay like really quiet because she doesn't want to wake anybody, but she's going to go open the gift on her bed.
It looks like your sisters also bought you a dress just in case you were MIA and didn't get to shop for one. And there's a matching handbag.
So Percy she fancies herself a fashionista, right? So she's going to figure out how to kind of merge the outfit she had planned with this dress from her sisters. Perfect. Because she loves it. And they got her something, so she wants to like show her appreciation too. So she's gonna find a way to like merge the outfits together.
Aw, I love that. And I'm sure you're in the midst of doing that as the rest of your sisters kind of awaken. It is Sunday, which means Miss Loretta is going to have to go to another shift. We know that at the diner. And each of you are, going to have to prepare yourself for the Yule Cotillion. It doesn't necessarily take you all day unless you want it to take you all day. Loretta, when you arrive at the diner, your hot-to-trot date does not show today.
Oh.
He is not there.
Oh. Yes. Loretta just starts kind of cleaning things and serving people and kind of looking out the window every once in a while to see if Billy's going to come in and looking very sad.
Yeah.
So she's probably going to be singing really
Aww.
sad Lena Horne songs while she's serving people at the diner.
I love that. And it's a pretty slow Sunday all in all. Most of the locals know when the Yule Cotillion takes place, and most of them hide. Because they know that it's when all the weirdos come out. It's kind of like Halloween. If the Yule Cotillion's happening, there's no telling who the witches are bringing us dates. And because the doors stand wide open, most of the mundanes in this town simply just ignore it. Just lock yourself away and order pizza for the night. The other few of you, I'm sure it takes Percy a little bit to get her dressed together, but Jess, Morwen, and Raven, how do you use your day to prepare for the cotillion? Because it doesn't really start until 7.
Well, Raven's going to be testing out her new broom. So yep. She would probably ask Jess to come with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys could go make some writing checks if you want. Some broom checks.
Yeah. We'll get her mind off the being stressed about this dance.
Take it out. Take your brooms out and like go ride them a little bit.
All right, broom riding.
Oh, body.
Body plus riding. Your broom riding.
Mm-hmm.
Rank. Will it happen? We'll say that you guys, the stadium's obviously empty. I mean, most of the girls are going to primp most of the day, so I love that the two of you are like, oh, it's an empty...
I'm a jinx, so I actually take a minus to that.
Oh,
so
no.
Roll. There we go. That's my broom riding check.
Oh, no.
You don't add anything to it?
Oh.
No, because my broom riding is a 1, but I'm a jinx, so I take a -1 to all of my rolls. But actually, you take a +1 to your roll.
For being around. So,
yeah.
You don't know if her balance is just off. It's not really the best broom riding. Maybe it's because it's actually a pretty high-end broom that she's been given, and it belonged to another witch for a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right under me. It kind of, and I feel weird saying this, but it kind of feels like her butt.
Her butt marks, not your butt marks.
Yeah. It's like when you go and the toilet seat is warm and you're just like, this is really uncomfortable and I don't really like this right now. That's kind of how Raven feels on this room.
Well, Jess as a pro, you loop this place like you own this stadium, and you probably attempt to show her as much as possible.
Yeah,
you know,
just
the
like,
tips and tricks.
Kind of go with it. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Just kind of like lean. You have to body motions. Don't be stiff when you're riding it.
I'm so nervous because, you know, it's just, this is a new broom and I really don't want to break it because I break things a lot and it's just,
And that's why that's why you're kind of flying weirdly. You're worrying about it too much. You kind of just have to take it easy at first. It's just kind of like, you know.
All right. Okay. Relax, Raven.
Relax.
Okay.
Why don't you make another loop?
Can I help?
Sure. We'll say instead of taking it for the jinx because your friend is there helping you, instead of her getting a plus, you get the plus. So it just cancels it out. You probably just don't add anything. You just get the dice roll.
No, I get to add a +1. I actually.
Oh, perfect.
I specifically took a +1 for broom riding because of the jinx, so then I'd at least have a chance.
Perfect.
So a 4 this time.
Okay, she's getting better. She's getting better. That is a for sure, like, better roll. And you watch her as she kind of begins to loop. It's still, like, wobbly. Maybe it's you talking to the broom. I don't know if you're just handling it differently, or maybe it's your butt that is now warming it, and so it's just beginning to fit better. But you are getting the hang of it, we'll say. With a little bit more practice, maybe even over the solstice holiday, you and Break, you potentially could come back and maybe even try out for the team.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I got this. Yeah. All right. Okay. I think that's enough for today. Maybe we should go, like...
Yeah, you guys are sweaty, probably. And you'll want to shower.
Just one day. You feel better.
All right. I need to practice more, I think.
I mean, that's what I do. Practice all the time.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just come with you.
Oh, yeah, of course. I can help if there's any accents. I can also help you with that.
Yeah, well, you know.
You get hurt from time to time. Even I get hurt, you know?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
How do you think I got so good at healing magic? You know? Like,
that's true. You know, that makes a lot of sense, Jess.
all right, you all set? We're gonna have to get ready soon. I guess.
Yeah.
Get ready.
As you guys head back, you're met by Miss Aurora Mist out front. She had been watching you practice. And she smiles. You can tell that she is also not quite dressed for the dance. May be heading back to her bunk or something to make that a reality. But she meets you on the way out and she says, Raven, let me tell you a secret. One that I use to tame an unruly broom.
She kind of looks around and, like, leans in and says, okay.
She leans down to you and says, give it a name. Don't treat it like an object. Treat it like an extension of who you are.
Name. That's perfect. Thank you.
She says, of course. And she walks right past you and moves right along towards what is kind of the staff or professor housing on site. And you can see that the main hall has been decorated already. The exterior is covered in beautiful garland, holly, snow. I mean, it is, what is this, Maine, for Pete's sake? So there's snow everywhere. It's very cold. Yeah. Very, very cold at this point. And it still is currently snowing, just giving this beautiful winter wonderland across the campus of Willow Mist Academy. On your way back, because you guys spent most of the afternoon, Loretta meets you after her shift at the diner, which was super slow, Loretta. And Percy, you're welcome to meet with him as well, kind of out front, if you guys want. And you guys have I would say about 2.5 hours or so before the dance officially begins. So this is your time to prep in any way that you see fit for that.
Yeah, so Percy would probably meet up with everybody, and Sammy would be included since they came to visit for this, so they would be there getting ready with Percy. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All the girls in the dorms are getting ready. It's chaos in the hallways. Chaos. People are running around asking for things like lipsticks and makeup brushes. Every mirror in the shared kind of bathroom area seems to be taken, so you best hope that you have one inside of your dorm. Yeah, what are you all up to? Ooh. Just going straight back to put your dresses on?
So Percy would have met like Sammy at the gates, because they would come in and then would take him back to the dorm room. So
Okay.
they're gonna go get ready.
Cool. Yeah, and it's actually a relatively nice sized dorm room. I mean, you guys are sharing this kind of almost like a loft, individual space. It's well furnished and those kind of things. I know that Jess also has a date that is to be showing.
Yes.
Does your date show on time or early, or is it going to be one of those things where they show up late?
Oh, probably on time.
Sure enough, we're right on time. Okay, then we'll say you probably will meet them downstairs if they're going to be on time for the dance, because looks like Percy's friend is a smidge early. Loretta, still no sign of your beloved date, Billy. At least not yet. You did tell him
we're
7.
still getting ready. I mean,
That's true. It would only be, appropriate. Now, Morrowind, what have you been doing while the girls have pittered about the day, fixing their dresses, riding their brooms, getting showered, and putting themselves together?
So, to put it the most simply, I want to be sure that there are as many immortals at the Yule Cotillion as possible.
Do you have a date? Oh, yes, you do. You asked somebody...
Immortal Bun
You
Boy.
you asked the Bun Boy. That's right.
Yes.
The Sticky Bun Boy. Yeah.
Awkward teen Bun Boy, who is an immortal, though, so...
Yeah.
He fits my parameters. Ideally, I would have, let's see. There need to be 60 people at the cotillion minus 5. So ideally, I'll invite 4 more people to the cotillion.
Just to
are
try to get them to
immortals.
come. I was about to say, you went, didn't you meet those awful teenagers at the mall? The ones that tried to stop you guys?
Yes,
The
but I'm
bullies?
not sure if their sacrifice would have to, have...
As
any
much
of that.
weight, I see. You want
Right.
some, really pure... Okay, yeah, you probably meet some of what would be considered the popular girls in town during the day, and you manage to convince them that they're welcome to come. It's a dress-up party. Free
Yeah.
food. It's fancy.
Yeah, it's fancy.
And they're like, oh my god, really? You guys do that
Yeah.
stuff up there at Willow Mist?
Yeah, it's so cool, I could just die.
Oh, well. Okay. Well, we'll, be there. Do we need, an invitation or something? Is it, a secret password?
Oh no, just say you're with me.
Oh, okay, cool. And you have a name, right?
Morwen.
Oh. Okay. Morwen. I'm Brittany.
Brittany.
This is Brittany and Brittany.
OMG, you're all 3 Brittnys.
Yeah, she's spelled with an I, I'm an EY, and she's an AY.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah. Okay, I guess, we'll see you there.
Yeah, totes.
And they, bound off, oh my god, what do you think we'll see? I don't know. Kind of a thing as they go away. And as you walk back towards campus, as the sun begins to set, getting very close to time, you'll make it just in time to toss your dress on. You pass a, storefront window that shows your reflection in it. And out of the corner of your eye, you can't help but see that you're not the only person in the window reflection. You see your mentor's reflection there. She does not stand behind you. You turn, she's not there. Back, and she resides just over your shoulder in the reflection in the store window. The store is closed.
Can you hear me?
She smiles that sly smile. She says, of course, child, I can hear you.
I think I have as many people as possible at the cotillion tonight.
Good. I
I
want
understand
to...
it's going to be a big ordeal.
It will. I shall make my appearance.
It'll be good to see you.
It will be good to see you, too. I have to say, I'm going to need your help with one more thing. The mortals and the witches cannot leave once the ceremony has begun. I'm going to need you to lock the doors and assure that everyone stays inside.
I have one question.
She simply looks at you.
My sisters, can I get them out too?
All witches at the Yule Cotillion will be given a choice. They can follow us and the great witch of darkness and shadow, or they too will be sacrificed like all witches for her rising. We have already selected the first witch, which you know has to be the most powerful. She will suit nicely, and I think you will be pleased to watch her throat slit.
Then I'm sure they'll make the right choice.
Here's to hoping. And I am a little concerned about your sisters. If they do not choose, you will make the right choice without them, yes?
Well, I'm sure it won't be a problem. I know them. They're the outcasts. They're my friends. I'm certain it won't be an issue.
Then I am glad to hear it. When the clock strikes 9, assure the doors are locked. The ceremony will be done before midnight.
I'll do it.
Good. I look forward to hugging your neck after, and watching the sun never rise tomorrow. Goodbye, child. And as you blink and open your eyes again, she's gone out of the mirror. You make it back just in time to get yourself dressed. The hordes of girls and their dates swarm the campus lawn to the front door, all of you dressed to the 9. If your date has arrived, you'll find them there. Or if they haven't arrived already, you will find them there. Daria, though quiet for the day, contemplating a few things that maybe she had to take in via her last day, we know that Daria prefers to be lizard size. So she, in fact, made herself smaller to match her date. Mr. Granted Liz is dressed in his finest pink. And, you know, the two of them walk in tiny size together. You quickly lose sight of them as they pass up their tiny invitations to the person at the door. They make a hard right as they enter, but you know that it's very frequent for fae and witches to prefer to be smaller at dances, especially your wallflowers. So there's a tiny room for those that prefer to tiny party instead of normal party.
As a side note, before we left the room,
Sure.
sprinkled fairy glitter on all of them.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
actually a magic item.
Yes! What does it do? Let's see.
It,
I gotta find the items.
it does something. Hold on.
I was about to say, yeah, if it's important, we should know. 'Cause feel
I
like
don't think it's really that important. Let's be honest. I think it just gives like a +1 to like charisma.
Okay, that's perfect. Then that's what we'll say that it does for now. We'll say that everybody glitters their best glitter. Yeah, and you guys get... what we'll say is that it adds a +1 to any social roll that you make. Because, I mean, you glittered AF, right?
Yeah.
It's actually, Aurora Mist meets you as each of you enter, and we'll get to the actual dance happenings here in a second, but Miss Aurora Mist once again meets you, Loretta, as you enter. And she says, how were your last few days, Loretta? They were your first ones here, and you look lovely. Thank you for dressing for the occasion.
Oh, thank you. Well, like I said, this has been a lot to take in, but I'm enjoying meeting a lot of new people, and I mean, the diner's been a little bit slow, but I've met someone nice there who will be joining us tonight, and
Oh,
yes.
Mundane is taking you to the dance.
Yes, his name's Billy. He's really nice, and
Well, fantastic. I look forward to meeting this Billy.
thank you. But yeah, it's beautiful here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I actually stopped you because I wanted to show you something. I know that this school is large in size, and only after 2 days you may not have seen all there is to see. Would you mind giving me just a moment? It doesn't look like your date has arrived.
Oh, it doesn't look like he has, but certainly, ma'am, I'll be happy to come over.
She gestures just for you to leave your sisters momentarily, and she just simply walks you like around a corner down a hallway that you don't know if your classes just don't take place there, but it looks like some kind of trophy hallway. There are these glass cases that line the sides of it, and there are trophies and things like that, but there are also picture frames and images, many of them black and white or sepia toned. And she leads you about halfway down, and she stops and turns to her left, and she simply gestures to a shelf just above your head, and there's a picture frame in it. And you can't help but realize that it is a picture of your mother standing with a group of witches. You can rightfully assume, based on their attire, that it's probably the late 40s, early 50s, maybe? And the witches stand, instead of in dresses and hats, they stand in military attire. Combat boots. And she says, your mother was a great warrior. Did you know that?
No. She didn't really speak at all about when she was young and a witch, just...
And she points kind of down the line and she says, and there I am. Do you know I knew your mother well?
You did?
I did. We fought together to assure...
What was she... Oh, sorry.
No. We fought together to assure that the Nazis did not, well, do what they were attempting to do.
Oh.
More importantly, do you see what is in her hands? And it is kind of a blurry picture. It's old. It looks like, and she points, and your mother holds something in her hands, about this large. And the harder you look, the more you realize it begins to look kind of like a sticky bun. Thank you, Combat.
A sticky bun?
Almost, she says. Look closer. It resembles a sticky bun, but it is actually a stone. I know that you were unable to take your history class, but one of the very first things we learn about the Dark Witch is that she was encapsulated, cursed to live her life in slumber, tied to a stone. That stone.
So what happened to it? Why does my mother hold this?
She found it. We excavated it during the war. Items and such. Oh, thank you. Items and such of this kind were too valuable to fall into the wrong hands. So we were part of an archaeological society that would go into the most dangerous areas and locate these items before they fell into the hands of the Fuhrer. When the witches voted to wipe the memories of the mortals, your mother stood against all of them. She was very brave. And more important,
They're just people.
They are just people. And she kind of almost like boops you on your nose. She says, you have your mother's mentality. I wanted to show you this because I want you to know that you come from a lineage where your mother believed that everybody was equal. Witches, mundanes, werewolves, even the dark kind, the vampires. That we all should learn to live our existence together on this plane. Excommunicating your mother was the hardest decision that the WWC has ever made. But they had to do it. So as you continue your studies here at Loretta, I want you to know that you carry a very long lineage from your mother of brave women.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. And she says, now, you don't want to keep that date waiting, do you?
No, I don't. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And she kind of gestures for you to pit her back to your sisters, who have just entered the Yule Cotillion. The main hall is decked to the nines. Tables, white linens, 3 forks, china, the whole 9 yards. Beautiful table settings in the middle of ice crystals and holly. It screams Yule tidings. And the giant Yule log burns under the fireplace in the corner for all of you to see. For it is the solstice, literally, the solstice. The party has kind of started. More classical music plays. To begin with, there is a band on stage. A woman sings, and people are beginning to get their punch. As you sit down, waiters come around to serve each of you dinner. It's smancy. But your tables are set for 12. 6 girls per dorm, plus a date. And Loretta, as you enter to meet your sisters, your eye catches your handsome date, who seems extraordinarily lost in the crowd of witches and strange creatures that muddle about.
Oh, Billy! Billy!
He seems relieved.
Right here.
I was about to say, he seems super relieved and quickly comes to you. He's brought you a corsage.
Oh.
He helps you,
lovely.
like, put it on your wrist and those kind of things, and he says, so what do we do?
Well, this is my first one, to be honest, so I'm not really quite sure, but are you hungry? I know you didn't stop by the diner earlier today.
Oh, yeah. Would you like some punch? He kind of says as his voice, like, cracks a little bit.
Sure.
Great.
I would love some punch.
He helps you over to the table with the rest of your sisters who are seated with their dates, and he runs to get punch for you. He also has to tell, can I get a punch for any ladies? Okay, 2 punches.
We're good.
And by the way, hi, I'm Raven.
Oh,
This is Billy.
I'm Billy.
Yes.
He's sweating. He's a very attractive man, but he does seem to be sweating a little bit.
Billy and I work at the diner together.
Yeah,
I made my first day here. He's really nice.
Raven kind of leans in and asks Billy very, very quietly, "Are you okay? You're a little sweaty."
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. It's just is it hot in here? Must be all these candles around.
It is a little warm.
Let me get that punch. And he kind of pitters off. Jess, you have a heightened sense of smell, do you not?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of check exactly that is. It's got to be a sense check plus something. Probably. Why don't you... There's something odd about him. He does not smell like any old mundane boy.
Okay. Sense? Alright.
Yeah, roll a sense.
Is there a negative from all the Axe body spray he's probably sprayed around himself? Just a cloud.
He would only do that if he was a mundane.
The
at a
non-mundane or more sophisticated.
Okay.
I mean, they'd have something different and it wouldn't spell the same.
That's right. So
Honestly, if he was wearing Axe, she would probably think he had doused himself in cleaning products.
Oh.
that's probably true too. So you
She has no
you
frame
kind
there.
of get a whiff of him on the air as he passes by. He is not human. He is not a mundane.
Which of the other girls is next to me?
Percy's probably sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a mundane.
What do you mean? He seems so, basic.
He's super basic.
Basic? Well, I mean, he is basically a person. But
He has that air about him that he's not. He's other than.
Do you know
normal.
what? What do you think he is?
I don't know. He has that feel. I can feel it.
Well, we know he's not a witch.
Well, yeah.
You
He's
know,
not
he's definitely not a werewolf. You can at least denote that because you
Oh,
know what
yeah.
a werewolf smells like, and you know that he is not a mundane,
Yeah.
which begins to narrow some things down for you. Who wants to roll a little history type check here? Who's got some lore based stuff?
I have mythology.
I've got
Oh,
magic etiquette.
okay. Mythology.
mysticism.
Okay, I would take either of those as you guys begin to whisper. Are you whispering loud enough for Loretta to hear you?
No. I don't think so. I don't
I'm
think
gonna
I'd
roll
want
a
to.
sense check.
Okay, yeah, to see if they could. Yeah, you're welcome to roll a sense check.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
totally
I don't think Percy's that subtle about it.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Let's see here. Oh,
Oh, Percy rolling in with a 2.
Yeah, Percy's like, I think I'm being quiet. Like at the table.
Oh, that was for mythology.
Oh, that was your mythology. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll a gossip check to see if I can check with their.
Yeah, what you can tell. See if you can tell they're
so-
gossiping at the table about something.
Jess is
roll
stressed,
that.
so maybe she's not as good about. She's like not as quiet as she thinks she is.
Yeah, y'all are a little less quiet. Morwen, why don't you? Do you have anything that's like more mythology based? Because you're older as well, so you may
And,
have more.
See, I rolled a 7.
Yeah. I mean, I could try. What did we say?
Mythology. What was the other? Or mysticism? I would take as well. But
Oh, everybody,
Right,
everybody
we using like
gets a
magic
+1.
or sense or.
oh yeah, you're around your jinx sister, so you also get a +1.
Yep.
Ah.
I rolled a 3, by the way.
Okay, a 3. You're so cute. I love your
I
lips.
think it's probably mind because it's like information.
Yeah, it would be a mind based, and then whatever the yes, correct. I have a heated blanket and now a cat on my lap, and I am sweating. I'm sorry, cat, you're hot.
Send that warmth to me because I've been cold all day.
Oh gosh.
Let's see, what does she end up
Yeah,
rolling?
Loretta, we are not subtle.
No.
You're very,
all.
very sure at a 7 with the rest of their rolls that they are 100%.
Oh yeah.
Talking either about you or about someone, and they're trying to keep it a secret from you. And what did you
Am
roll?
I missing something, ladies, about my date?
Oh no, he seems wonderful. Like a little uncomfortable, but nice.
I gathered from that. I don't really know why he didn't show up to work today, and maybe he just maybe he was nervous that maybe our boss noticed he was gone, or caught on that he was maybe he called in sick. I didn't really ask our boss this morning.
Maybe he needed more time to get ready.
I think I should probably say something. Your date might not be mundane. I can
Not that there's anything wrong with
like
that.
he doesn't.
but, yeah.
Oh.
She's trying to like Jess is trying to like figure out what like she
Is
doesn't
there
want to
something
say
wrong with that?
smell like
No.
mundane. He doesn't
Nothing
give
wrong
off a
with
sense
that.
of being mundane.
He quickly comes back about this time and starts passing out punch and sits down. I'm sure the table gets an
thank
awkward
you.
silence.
So Billy, how do you like working at the diner? Percy's trying to like bridge the gap.
I see. He's like, I mean, I wipe off counters and take out the trash and stuff. So I guess it's cool. It's easy.
Yeah.
But wiping counters is like super fun.
He like kind of like he's like, it can be when you have good company. And he looks at Loretta.
Oh, do you ever do that thing where you like strap sponges to your feet and go like skating to clean the floors?
That sounds like fun,
He's like,
actually.
No,
Yes, please.
but
We
I
should do
should
that
do
next
that.
time.
Yes, he
Yes.
says. And the conversation lightens a little bit. Morrowind, when he sits down, at the 5, you still aren't exactly sure, but based on your extended 100-year history, if he's not a witch, he's not a werewolf, and he is not a mundane, there's a very good probability that you're staring at the face of an immortal. A true
vampire.
immortal. Not a vampire.
Oh, I
An
got excited.
immortal. Immortals, in terms of the witch history, you know immortals to be the lineage, direct lineage of the son of Lilith, great warriors and fighters who
right,
fought
Gilgamesh.
for a while with the dark side and then against it, and came out the other side partnering with the witches as their infantry, basically, their knights. It is a few and far between thing to see immortals like this posing as mundane. Most of them live in societies where they get to train to do what it is that they do.
So, what brings you to the Yule Cotillion?
I
She asked
invited
me-
him. Well, I told him about it, and he asked to come with me.
That's precious.
Oh, thank you. I know we haven't really had a chance to talk that much, Billy, but so what do you like to do when you're not at the diner or at the mall with your friends?
And as he's kind of stuttering, that's the time that you hear the ting, ting, ting of a knife against glass as Miss Aurora Mist, along with all the faculty and staff that sit at the front end of this giant, beautiful ballroom. She stands and begins to address all of the witches. Of course, the room falls silent, even the tiny party in the back corner there, tiny rave simmers down, and she begins to address ladies and company. Having you here tonight warms my spirit. It is the solstice, a time for new beginnings, and the end of a year. We have welcomed new witches, she eyes Loretta, and old witches, she eyes Morwen, to the walls of Willow Mist. I am excited that we are finally a full coven of 60. Stronger we stand together. And for all of the guests that are here tonight, we welcome you to the halls of Willow Mist. Here, we celebrate a unique education. I hope that your dinner was sufficient and that you are ready to celebrate into tomorrow. For tonight is the shortest night, and we will party as long as the Yule log burns. And she snaps her fingers, and the tables in front of you disappear. Silverware, everything. Done with dinner. The dance floor clears, the lights dim, and she says, now, for those of you that would like to partake in the annual Cotillion dance, please stand. You know this to be a very formal dance, kind of kicks things off. The violin begins to string. Does anybody want to take their date to the dance floor and make an etiquette check to do the dance?
Percy and Samuel.
Okay, Percy will. Who else?
I will.
I want to check the time.
It is about 8:30.
Okay. Then I will not participate in the dance. I'm still eyeing Billy.
He looks at Loretta and says, would you like to dance?
Certainly.
Billy joins Loretta, Percy, and her date. Jess, are you going to attempt the dance? Great. Raven?
Yep. Raven doesn't have a date. She just didn't. She's not really interested.
She's just not. I imagine you're there with your broom. I don't know why.
Yeah, actually, no. She did bring her broom, and she's named it Bernard.
Bernard the broom?
That's
Yeah.
a great game.
Can I just have like a bow tie tied at the very end?
Yeah, she definitely took one of her ribbons and made like a nice little bow tie for.
It
for
matches your dress, no doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
And she, you know what? She will dance with Bernard.
You get up to dance. There is no judgment about
my
who you bring to the dance, because off in the corner you see your sister Daria dancing with the lizard. So there is no judgment at the Yule Cotillion.
Raven brought Bernard, and damn it, she's gonna dance with him. Sorry.
As you guys join the group and begin your kind of lineup, we're gonna have these etiquette rules here in a second. So go ahead. In this case, because it is dancing, I will take an addition. I will take etiquette, not mundane etiquette. It will have to be kind of like witch etiquette, or I believe there is a dance. Dancing.
There is.
You can. So it's body based. So everybody's gonna have to make a body check.
Oh no, I was hoping it could be social.
Yeah.
I might take social. I'll take a social instead if you just want to know the things, and then you'll make either a dance check or a magical etiquette check, because this is a witch's dance. Does that make sense? And then
For the people who are doing the social roll, they actually get a +1 from the fairy glitter.
Oh, that's right. Don't
Unless
forget.
it's been more than an hour, because I put it on like right before we left.
It's been right at. We'll say that you stop glittering once this dance is complete. kind of hits the perfect time. Now, Morrowind, as your sisters exit the seating area, their chairs disappear, of course, along with the table, kind of clearing more space. Quite a few witches get up, and you begin to eyeball the tables, kind of looking around to see who is here. The Britneys showed up, dressed all wrong, in the corner. And you do not see... Oh, thank you, Paladin! You do not see Princess Lucinda Nightbane at this cotillion. Princess Lucinda Nightbane does not miss a Yule Cotillion. I mean, it's like the social event. So the fact that she is missing seems odd.
It is, especially given that I was just with her yesterday, and it seemed like a no-brainer that she would be here.
True story.
Well, that's fine.
It's fine. I'm cool
I mean,
with
she wants to miss it. That's on her. But you know, she bought me a dress and a bag, so if she misses the whole like sacrifice, that's fine. So
you watch as your sisters begin this dance. The kind of band rallies. Thank you out there for all of that love. We're slowly getting to our drama. Hoy, we're gonna make it. And when we do, we may regret it. Who knows? We may regret it.
Totally gonna regret it. I'm helping.
So, totally gonna regret this. So, let's get... Oh, I changed over. You guys, let's get those rolls really quick. Let's get the etiquette rules however you saw fit to roll them, whether that was social or body, if you just want to be a good dancer, or if you want to just know the etiquette of dance.
Percy did social and got a 3.
Okay. Okay, well, good news is Loretta got an 8. You got a 3 too, Shauna?
Yeah, body did not. Nope.
Yeah,
And-
I did a social roll.
Okay, and you got a 7 rolling with your broom?
Yes, I got a 7. And I did a social roll as well with magic etiquette.
Oh, okay.
So she is very, very technical on her dancing, and Broom is killing it. Bernard.
Broom is killing it. So you guys dance about the floor. Some of you are graceful. Some of you are not. Probably step on your date's feet a couple times. I imagine that Jess and Percy are almost giggling at this whole, like, I mean, it's like very, very ritualistic, like, you know, like arms touching arms, you spin in circles, you guys are like, it's become almost a joke. The other two have taken it too seriously.
Yeah, Jess is just used to, like, dancing in, like band shows, and she's not used to, like, any of this.
Yeah,
This is why
I think Percy and Sammy have started making jokes, so they're a little bit less.
You're almost making fun of them, I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah, and they're both from the South, so like the cotillion thing is like even funnier to them.
Yes,
so it's
yes.
dissolved.
Yeah. You guys have dissolved into making fun. The Britneys have, of course, been asked to dance by a few witches and seem a bit overwhelmed. This is not their usual kind of dance. And as it comes to a close, it does take quite a few minutes. It's a long process. As the band dies down, the DJ kicks in, and the music shifts instantly to modern day kind of pop music. Loretta, you have no clue what you're listening to. 0 clue. Even Morrowind, you're probably not used to the bass drop that is this. And the party instantly shifts. Everybody begins to join the floor. Morrowind, it is getting very close to 9 o'clock, and everybody's eyes have turned to dancing and socializing. It seems to be the kind of party point in the evening.
Yeah, I mean, so long as it's like right before I'm watching that minute hand slowly creep towards 9, and the second that it hits like 8:59, I've been like watching the doors, making sure that like no one's been coming and going, because I don't want anyone to notice the doors are locked before 9. So at that very last moment, I use my signature spell, teleport, and teleport outside to block off the doors with probably like a chain or something, because that feels aesthetically appropriate.
Appropriate, yeah. Most of the exterior doors probably actually have something that's nearby because they have to lock it at night anyways. So you're able to kind of finagle and lock some of the doors, especially the main exit door, and the one to the actual dance hall or the banquet hall. You also managed to get locked, which you know is the only entrance and exit other than the backstage. I
prop a chair up under it just to like make sure, and I'll pop over to the backstage door if need be too. I mean, I can do this all real fast.
Yeah, you like ping, ping, ping.
Any zap points to poof around.
When you poof backstage and lock the door, off in the corner in darkness, you hear.
I'll go check that out. It's inside or like...
It's inside. It seems to be coming from like a back area or maybe behind like a leg, one of the runners of the curtain area in the stage here. Somebody has been kind of shoved behind some theater props into the dark corner.
Yeah, so I lock the door from the outside just to be sure, then poof back in to investigate whoever's shoved behind the theater props.
It is none other than Lucinda Nightbane, who has been bound, tied, gagged, and her eyes have been covered. She sits there kind of like yelling and screaming. You can't hear her over the thumping bass music out front. And as you begin to kind of check the situation, you realize that she is actually attached to the rigging system at the top of the stage, as if she is to be hung, not by the neck, but to be suspended is a better word. Once the rigging were to be pulled, she would be suspended somewhere near the center of the stage.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
You see her go...
I don't suppose you'd ever do the right thing.
She finally, like, figures out where the voice is coming from, at least the direction, because both her eyes and her mouth are covered, and she looks at you, not exactly knowing who you are, but knows that somebody's there.
I don't know how to save you, except that if you're given a choice, make the right one. And then I'm gonna poof back to the ballroom for a second and try to, for like the last few seconds, try to find my sisters on the stage.
Like from the stage, like kind of look out for them?
Sorry, like on the
on the dance floor.
Yeah. Dance floor was the right word I was looking for.
That's okay. So is everybody here on the dance floor? Have you guys taken elsewhere? What is everybody else just very quickly doing?
Loretta is trying to dance to this newfangled music in the best way she can. So we're talking mashed potatoes, the twist, meat grinder. I mean, she's doing all the old-timey, like, 60s dance moves that you would see on, like, the movie Hairspray.
That is one way to do it.
Percy and Sammy are loving it and have totally joined in and are trying to, like, start a dance circle.
Oh god, is this turning into a bad 90s chick flick? Where everybody's like dancing the same at the high school like party? I can only imagine.
You better believe it into it too. So her and Bernard are getting down.
It's turning into, like the bar mitzvah after party.
Basically.
Like, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, imagine Jess and Abby just having like just the best time, like just dancing to modern music after having to deal with the standard ballroom.
The horrible ballroom music. You see your sisters. They're almost center in the ballroom, causing not a scene, but people are like looking at them and pointing as they're dancing these very dated dances. And the song kind of finishes out. You're welcome to join them on the floor if you would like, or teleport.
Yeah, I teleport into the circle, and I look at all of them, and just say yes.
What?
What do you mean?
Just say yes.
And go ahead.
Yeah, and then I like poof away.
And as she says yes really loud right before she poofs, the song ends. And the DJ takes the music all the way out instead of transitioning to another song. So all you hear at the top of over everybody is that awkward moment of like, yes! And she's gone. And everybody kind of quiets down and there's whispering like, what's going on? Miss Aurora Miss stands again and she says, I am pleased to tell you that we have a special guest tonight, here from the Witches' World Council. She comes to grace us with her presence, and she is so excited to be here to see all of you celebrate the solstice together. She turns and gestures to an older woman, gray hair, almost white, it's so gray, long, and she wears it in a very tight, thick braid. She wears a beautiful dress, and she too stands with a level of... her presence exudes from her. You can feel it the moment she stands and takes control of the room. She smiles, a smile that you know, Morrowind. I am pleased to be here tonight. Gatherings like this happen once a year, but tonight's gathering is particularly special. And you can see Miss Aurora Mist gets like a weird look on her face, but she continues to smile because that's quite a compliment going around, especially from somebody of her stature. She exits from behind the table and comes down front. The teacher's table kind of sits along the front apron edge of the stage, and she joins the rest of the ballroom, bringing herself down a level to join all of you. She walks over, and the sea of people part to allow her to stand center in the ballroom, and she looks around at all of you. Tonight, all of you will witness something extraordinary. For too long have we lived in hiding. The witches. Miss Aurora goes, "Excuse me, I don't mean to," and she says, she like waves her hand, and Miss Aurora stops speaking instantly. Everybody's like, oh, gasp, gasp,
She's
gasp.
so cool.
She's so cool. She pulls from, like, under her cloak, potentially an internal pocket, a sticky bun. One that you know all too well. She says, "It's so funny to think that something so simple is something else." And she snaps her fingers, and the sticky bun in front of all of you hardens to a rock. Loretta, it looks like the rock that your mother held in her hands in the photo that you saw just hours before. And she says, "And tonight, all of you have a choice to welcome back the most powerful of witches, to reverse what it is we have done, to go into hiding." She looks even at Jess as she passes by, and she says, "And even those of us that have to hide more than another. Would you like to be able to... Yeah, would you like to be able to tell the world who you really are? To stop hiding from these mundane..." And she points to the three Britneys who are doing their makeup in the corner. She sets this now hardened rock onto the ground, and she waves her hand in front of her face, and you watch her entire exterior change. The staff stands as they realize that it is not at all a representative from the council. It is your mentor, Morrowind, who has been in disguise this whole time. What is her name?
That is a very good question.
That's okay. We don't have to know her name. Nobody else knows it.
Morrowind didn't really refer to her by name. It was more just like mistress,
okay,
or something like that. So it was like it wasn't important. She was beneath her. So.
Great. Well, I'll give her a name then, but we'll call her. You called her mistress. You watch as Aurora steps out, and she goes, "Mistress Celeste, you are not welcome on my campus." She turns and gives that sly smile to Aurora, and she walks almost nose to nose with her. "Just because they gifted you this school does not mean that you can control all the witches that come through it. They deserve to make their choice." Does Raven raise her hand, or is Eris raising her hand?
Eris is raising her hand.
Okay, go ahead, Eris.
Raven would do something right here.
Go ahead.
As she walks back to Aurora Mist, Raven would like to attempt to cast her signature spell, Animalize Object.
Okay, are you going to animalize the stone or her?
the stone.
Okay.
And I want to turn it into a hummingbird.
Okay. That's a relatively simple spell, as long as she doesn't dispel it. So are you going to try to do it secretly, or are you just trying to do a quick and dirty?
I'm trying to do it secretly.
Okay.
I don't want her... I want her, as she's distracted, obviously talking to Aurora Mist and everybody else there, she's going into evil person mode right now and revealing her nasty plans.
She is.
So Raven is going to take this opportunity to animalize the stone and hope that it like runs away. Actually, I want to make it a mouse.
Oh,
a really
perfect.
teeny tiny mouse.
Okay. So let's get the spells from you. So that would be your magic die, plus whatever type of spell that is, which in this case is alteration, I'm going to guess.
Yes.
Alteration. Yeah, so those would be your two, and then whatever, if you get any additional points for the spell itself.
I have a rank 2 in casting. Does that
Okay, so that, yes,
No.
casting does. So it would be your magic
Okay.
die plus casting, plus your plus your alteration rank to see its success level. I mean, it's just a rock; it's not going to fight you,
Yeah,
but she might.
Do I notice Raven trying to cast her? Or actually, let's just see if she actually casts it. I have
Yeah.
a plan.
Oh, nice! A 10? Yeah, you you
Okay.
watch her as she reaches her hand out. I'm sure you guys are somewhere near that, like, centralized circle that splits, since that's where you were dancing. And the stone changes into this mouse, and it eeks. And as you hear her kind of having this very curt and short conversation in front of the face of Aurora Mist, she turns and she almost hisses.
Loretta conjures up a wedge of cheese
Ha!
Okay.
and then casts levitate
On the cheese?
on the cheese.
Okay.
To have it start going to different areas of the building.
Oh, running the mouse around?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm also going to need a check from you. So that is your magic die plus casting.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Would that be for levitate or for the conjuring part?
So it would be for, you would use conjuring, whatever your rank is what you're going to add to your magic die plus your casting rank or level.
Because that's like, what, 2 spells? So do I need to roll twice for that or just for
Oh,
all?
I see. Because so it's the levitate spell and the conjuring.
The
Yeah, so
conjuring
let's
of the
start with
cheese.
conjuring.
Okay.
Let's start with the conjuring. So you'll have to do it first, and then we got to see if it actually levitates or not.
Okay.
And don't
so
forget,
that-
every time you cast, you're going to, unless it's your favorited spell, you will take away a zap point.
The shopping spree is my signature spell, so
That's cute.
that should count for the cheese.
Perfect.
So it's D8 plus 3. Okay.
Sure
It's
enough.
a very nice cheese.
Boom, it is a beautiful thing of cheese, and the mouse is instantly like, eek!
It is a truffle scented cheese with blue veins and garlic, and it smells fantastic. So now we're gonna try to cast levitate here. And let's
Levitate that cheese.
levitate the cheese. Cheese.
It levitates. It is.
Levitates?
I was going to say it levitates. The problem is it's not exactly. You haven't got it quite going where you want it to. So it goes to almost exit the space, and it smashes into the door, and it keeps like bumping into the door, which you realize now is locked. And the mouse follows it and begins like scratching at the cheese that's like banging into the door above its head. At this
I'm by
point,
the door.
are you okay? You see it. The mouse and the cheese. This happened. Now, your mentor, Mistress Celeste, she turns and hisses almost at the both of you.
As she turns to hiss at my sisters, I'm going to cast Sunburst at her, which basically puts this like big burst of sunlight. So I'll roll, but also they do a the target has to make a hard difficulty body roll.
Okay.
Or be blinded.
Oh, damn. Okay, cool.
I'll
And,
roll to cast.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. So I've got to roll 3 times, and I'm going to tell you why I roll 3 times here in, like, T-minus just a second.
10.
Nice. Okay, so she's gonna roll against you. She's gonna get a chance to. You said it's a body roll for her.
It's a hard body roll.
A hard difficulty. Okay, so this is how this works.
Best dance ever.
She does not make it, and she goes ah. But additionally, in the room, we see something else happen. Two boys that have been there, kind of gothic style in nature. They've got gauges in their ears. They almost look like twins. Pale, dark hair that stands on end. They also back from it, bearing teeth.
Yes. So it acts like real sunlight.
Okay, so this is going to be bad for them.
Yes.
This is going to be really bad, at least for the two. Not her, but for the two of them, it's going to be really bad. So they're going to take a negative, actually, to this roll, which means they're definitely not going to pass it. Yeah, at a 2. And you watch as the beam of sun... Does it have a specific effect other than blinded?
Yeah, so when blinded, the target is -4 to rolls that require eyesight, and their sense is lowered by 1 die type.
Okay, cool. So in this case, we're going to say that the two boys in the room that hiss and bear fangs, they will move the dice type down. In this case, she is blinded. Does the spell have to maintain, or is she blinded indefinitely?
It's for the spell's duration.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a duration in the book, so we can just decide.
Great. So I'll say for now she's definitely blinded. And she. Oh no! And
I would think that it's probably as long as I concentrate on it. So as soon as I go to cast any other magic, the sunlight will disappear. Is what I would think.
This is also going to take away from the vampires' life points. In this case, we're just gonna say they each take a -2. This round, basically. So every round that you maintain concentration with sunlight in the room, they will take damage. Okay. But you guys, all of you see the two of them have been flanking the room, and we're gonna go into basically what is initiative here, and get ourselves a little bit of an initiative order and go into combat, because she's pissed. This was not how things were supposed to go, and you hear her say, "Quickly, the girl!" And as she snaps, somebody on stage releases a lever. You hear it, the ropes release, and the pulley system unwind as Lucinda Nightbane swings onto stage, bound in chains and rope across it. Something similar to the boys that are out, the two of them out in the open space, almost scutters down like a spider with its limbs to her, and reaches to, looks like to slice her throat potentially with a knife. And we're gonna go into combat. So let's get some initiative rolls, which I believe for this game is based on body. Nope, senses. I'm sorry, it's based on senses. Okay. So everybody make a sense roll, and then I have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure it's a sense roll. Nice. Okay. I'm going to have a lot of people to roll for, so I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. We're going to say the young vampires that have made themselves known will go together, all of them. That includes the third one that's on the stage, okay? But their senses have dropped a die, so they only get a d4. Okay. They got a 3. So, young vamps 1, young vamp 2, and young vamp 3 all got 4s. Or, I'm sorry, 3s. She, on the other hand, is going to get... She, too, also gets a negative to that, so... She also rolls a d4. Woo! She got a 4. Alright. But we're gonna say she goes after you, Eris, or after, because you had it without a disadvantage. She had this kind of negative to her die roll, so you'll get to go before her.
Yeah, Percy also rolled a 4.
Did you? Was yours a d4 dice? D6. Okay, so she rolled basically a critical, so this is basically the way it'll go. What else did everybody roll?
Just 6.
4.
Okay, great. 4. Morwen rolled a 1. Loretta rolled...
I think that's...
I was about to say, you're trying to make yourself not seen anyway, so...
Yeah, it works, story-wise.
Story-wise. Loretta, you said you rolled a 6?
Yeah.
A 6. And Raven rolled a 4 as well. Jess, what did you said you rolled a 4. Was it a D4 die that you rolled
D10.
just a D10? Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
That's
Okay,
bad.
Percy. All right, so this is how this will happen. In the following order. It's kind of tricky. So it's going to be first up Loretta, followed by she also rolled a 4, but she got the negative, so she's going to go last. So first up, it will be Raven. Gotta get this in order. Raven, Percy, Jess, Celeste, the young vampires, and last but certainly not least is Morrowind. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so Loretta, you're up first. In the game of Witch Girls, you get basically you get any attack. You can cast a spell and take any minor action, like I want to pick up a glass or I want to grab something out of my pocket. Is the two things that you can do on a turn, or you can take what's known as I'm calling it a large action, meaning I need to cross the entire space to get to a door. You're not gonna be able to cast magic while you do it, but you can cross the entirety of the ballroom. Okay, and those may come on a case by case. So what would you like? What does Loretta do?
Okay, so we have main vampire witch lady.
Correct, Celeste.
Celeste. We have Lucinda hanging from a bunch of chains, and we have a bunch of hostile vampire boys in the corner.
That's the yeah. I couldn't have explained that better myself.
Okay. See, I might as well knock out the younger ones. So, Loretta is going to, I would say, conjure some garlic bulb necklaces
Oh, okay.
with her with shopping spree.
Okay.
To find their way around. I mean, would I be able to put them on all three of our golf boys, or?
You would be able to do only one of them. There's one on the stage, and then there's one on either side of unless the spell says that you can target multiple people.
Let's go with the one on the stage. Just distract him from Princess Lucinda. So let's it's a magic roll. So magic roll. And that's an 8.
Okay, so does it say that they get any kind of roll against you? What does this? Do you know which spell it is? It says that exactly.
It's a shopping spree, so I'm just conjuring up a regular mundane item.
Oh, well, yeah, then you did that. No problem.
Yeah.
At an 8, but conjured up whatever item you would like.
So it's a well, let's just say it's elephant garlic bulbs because she rolled so well. Just like an entire lay, like a Hawaiian lay style of garlic bulbs.
I love this so much.
Around this poor vampire's neck, and a few of the bulbs are crushed a bit, so it's got the nice sort of aroma wafting up into his nostrils.
I love that so much. Okay. Yeah, no problem there at all. And you conjure it up. You'll be able to conjure it and you can throw it or do whatever you want to with it next.
Oh, I'm just conjuring it directly around their necks.
Oh, you want it on them. Okay. So now they're not only are they blinded and taking extreme amounts of sunlight damage, somebody's put garlic around their neck and they begin like a cat with a bell, like
Itching.
yeah, itching and like trying to get it off, but they've also been blinded, so they're not exactly sure what it is. Or this one. So he ends up falling from the rope that he was hanging on as he went to go cut Princess Lucinda Nightbane. And as he falls, you see that the knife cuts part of the rope that she is bound in, but not all of it. And yeah, wow, we move right along. She is still, like I said, her eyes are bound, she is gagged, and she's still like struggles.
Okay.
Raven.
I have a mechanics question.
I am
because
always.
Raven would know this and she would have experimented and she would know.
Okay.
So I turned the object into an animal. I have objectify animal, which I can turn a normal animal into an object. Can I turn the mouse into an object that it wasn't before?
I don't see why not. You've changed the literal makeup of it already to be qualified as an animal. So yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's no longer
So-
considered a sticky bun or a rock.
Awesome. So,
What you want to do?
I can't wait.
try to decide what object I would like to make it. It's going to be an earring.
Okay.
Ooh.
Not a very pretty earring, just a plain hoop.
Okay, a gold, like a lost gold hoop after a Saturday
Yeah.
night at the club
Exactly.
lays by itself.
I make it look like someone just lost an earring, and that's what it is.
And
just
it's
an
very
earring.
tiny now, so it'll be very difficult to find.
Yeah.
So
Should
this
have made it a
gold,
contact lens.
more
I
when
should have
you,
made it a
I was gonna say,
contact
you
lens,
do
but
see
if it
this.
breaks or gets damaged, then yeah. But yeah, I made it a simple gold hoop, so even if it gets bent, it's still a gold hoop.
Correct. The hoop drops and you see it more when because you're right next to it. It hits the ground. It's no longer a mouse or what it originally was. And excuse me, I'm gonna guess too since you started casting other things that probably the cheese dissipates as well. As chaos begins to break out, magic is now being slung, which is a huge rule at Willow Mist that this is meant to be a safe place. This place is full of mundanes, which have probably never seen half of this stuff. About this time, as you guys we'll keep our initiative order, but you do hear Aurora Mist look at the staff and go, "Quickly! Get the girls out!" And some of the teachers rush for the door as if they're trying to get you all out of this space because she knows what's coming. Moving right along. Percy.
So, what would Percy do? So, I think Percy is gonna keep the light on her right now.
Okay.
Because it seems like that's disoriented her enough that, like, maybe the teachers can, like, get to her. So, she is going to, see what she can do to get rid of the guy that's dealing with the princess. Even though we don't like the princess, we don't want her to be sacrificed. Oh wait, if I cast something, then I think Sunburst will leave. That's okay. We're gonna do it anyways. So
Okay.
Is the one over there, they're hanging?
The other two vampires are on the floor. They seem to be
Right.
probably incognito in the group of teenagers. The one that was on the stage fell from the rope. He fell and he's hit the stage floor, bursting the band up.
Perfect. So since he's on the floor, Percy is going to cast vines, which is going to create vines that erupt from the earth, and she wants to tangle him in the vines so he can't get up.
Fantastic! I'm guessing I get some kind of,
So
a check against it?
So I cause the vines to wrap around him, and then the vines have 10 life points, so they can be broken by a hard body roll.
Okay, so he's gonna make a body roll. He's probably not, they're not terribly strong. Vampires aren't known for being strong, they're known for being deadly other ways. So let me just, he's gonna roll his d6. It probably will not make much of a difference.
So I casted a 7.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, why did it do 2? Only 1 is all I needed. Let me redo that. That's definitely not correct. Okay, he only rolled a 4. I could have also taken the 5, but you do beat him barely. You watch as he tries to get up very quickly, like vampires are wont to do. They move faster, and the vines quickly around him, and he goes as he starts kind of fighting it. You realize he's not going to be able to go anywhere. And do they do damage to him or just hold him in place?
No, they just hold him. And then they've got 10 life points to break them.
Okay, got it.
So Percy's gonna she's cast that as she's trying to get to Princess to help her out.
Okay, great. So you basically will say that you make a cross towards the stage to see if you can't let Lucinda Nightbane down.
Yeah.
Jess.
So Jess just once the vampires actually kind of like appeared, like she kind of drops her her illusion that she's been having on her. So like her ears are like pointed, like she has like yellow eyes, and she's like growling, so you can kind of like see like sharp teeth. And are the tables under here like covered?
The tables are gone. Remember, she got rid of them when she opened the dance floor up. So there's a few chairs, and then there would be like the tables where the punch and stuff is, if you wanted to use those. But the main floor is just full of people.
Oh, okay, this is gonna be real awkward for her.
It's okay.
So we have the two vampires, right? That are.
We do.
All right. So she is actually going to like try and like distract them and kind of just like, so she's gonna just like get into a run, kind of slide, and then like kind of like mid slide just turn to like a brown wolf and
Oh,
just
that's
like
cool.
growl at them.
Ooh, okay. Vampires don't like werewolves, so that's a good choice. So are you going to make an attack? Are you trying to take like one of their feet out, or I don't even know. As a wolf, do you get an attack like a special?
I don't
wolf
know.
attack?
It just says I turn to a wolf.
I feel like there's a werewolf stat in here. I'm gonna quickly see if I can find
Yeah,
it.
there's a I think there's one I saw for like the other kin, I think, in the
The other kin section. I'll take a quickie peek at that, but for now we'll say that you do, usually the normal damage is 2 to life points.
I'm just trying to like subdue them, make sure like they don't.
You're just trying to
my
keep them
friend.
at a distance, is that
Yeah.
really it? Okay, then
Yeah.
they won't do anything. In this case, it's almost like an intimidation roll, but because you're in wolf form, I'm going to give you a little bit of a bonus to that. So you'll need to make, it is a social roll against them, and I was trying to see if there was anything as a witch that you would get versus like the mundane skill, but I think we'll just take it as a straight social with a +2 because, well, you're terribly scary. You could also take, oh, there is a scare. So if you have the scare tactic, a mundane skill, I'll take the bonus of scare.
All right, so I'll just I have just the nothing like that, so I'll just use the social with the
Okay.
All right.
Don't forget, you get a +1, right, to that? Oh, no, not
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
No, our glitter wore
Our glitter's gone.
It's a wolf with glitter. I don't know if that.
I mean, really, it's just the best of both worlds at
Yeah.
Twilight there.
Right. In this case, this for him is a mind roll against you. So he's just gonna quick make his mind roll.
Yeah.
Oh, you just beat him. And sure enough,
Cool.
he goes to kind of charge at you and then realizes that you're significantly more fierce the closer you get, and one of them kind of and backs off him. You kind of cornered him the way a dog is wont to do with a scared victim.
Yeah, she's just doing that thing of like, don't come in close, and just kind of like the forward like lunging, growling.
Nice. Cool. That was awesome. Moving right along. It does become Celeste's turn. This is when things get bad.
Right.
She yells out, "Morrowind, quick, keep them from leaving!" As you see, the teachers are beginning to motion people towards the exterior door. She is going to do some pretty high-level casting. It's gonna get scary. I hope everybody's ready. She is a necromancer. And so she is particularly interested in raising the dead and making them. So she is going to cast... Oh, that is intense. I'm glad she can't do that. Okay. You watch her reach out as clearly the most powerful person in this room is actually Miss Aurora Mist herself, and she begins doing soul-sucking damage. Yep. Yo. Okay. She kind of rips this dark crystal from her neck and she holds it out as if it is some kind of soul gem that may collect that person's soul. So, here we go. She's going to roll her magic die. Oh, gang. She's +5 and then another. Okay. Let's see how she does. Okay. At a 16. She is Miss Aurora. Mist, of course, is going to fight against that because she doesn't want her soul sucked from her. But it's going to be a very tough roll for her to be able to make it. So, okay.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
My heart is pounding. My heart is pounding so fast.
I have a question.
I'm all ears.
I have the skill Spellbreaker. Does that help here?
Oh,
at
me
all?
too.
It would use your turn to break the
Okay.
spell on something. So let's say that you wanted to break the spell you had put on the rock bun. So she could have used Spellbreaker to break that. Or if she's doing something like sucking her soul next round, which she will be, you can try to attempt to break that spell.
Yeah, I have Spellbreaker too, and Hexbreaker
Okay.
as my heritage.
Great. Yeah, she hasn't hexed anybody yet.
No, there's no cursing yet.
Not yet. The good news is, let's be real. Miss Aurora Mist resents 19 points of magic. So it don't matter. You watch as this dark black beam hits her in the chest, and she simply catches it with her hand and begins to push it back towards her. This dark beam of magic now connecting the two of them across the space. Witches run every direction. Mundanes are banging at the windows and doors trying to get out. Moving right
Aurora
along.
Mist is my new hero.
Yeah, she's a badass. I didn't realize it was 19. She just automatically resists 19 points of magic, gang. Automatically.
Oh my god.
She's a
Fantastic.
bamf.
You're not getting in the middle of that.
Yep, just let that be what it is. Okay, so we move right along to our 3 vampires, okay? So the first one is going to attempt to make a body roll to do some damage. You watch as it turns and begins to try to, like, eat away. It's trying to, like, rip away with its head. It's kind of like a bite, which is just a basic d6 for him.
For the vines.
For the vines, plus a 2. So in this case, it did roll an 8. The vines usually have a resistance. In this case,
it was hard.
it's considered a hard body. So if it's considered hard, that means it has to be a D10. So it does not make it. Sorry, I had to think about the table. So D10. So he does not rip much off of it at all. It moves along pretty quickly. He's like, trying, and the vines seem to be really strong. Good job, Percy.
Yeah. Percy's gonna just make it worse.
Yeah, right. Okay, and we move along to the other 2. One of them has the wolf in front of it, and you watch as the vampire's claws kind of grow, and it's going to take a swipe at you.
Oh, no.
With its claws. So again, that's a d6 plus, in terms of the vampire, I believe it's a 2 for him to make an actual attack. Correct. It's just oh, wait, you don't have the sunlight up anymore, do you, Percy?
No, because I cast the vines.
Right. So 5, he didn't roll very high. What is your body die?
It's a D8.
Okay, you're going to roll the D8, and then again, we're going to say for the sake of you being in wolf form, you're going to add a +2 to that. So you're getting a bonus there. As long as you beat a 5, you are fine.
That shouldn't be too hard. I think I already have a +2, so hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue at all.
Alright, let's see.
That's why I was like, I don't foresee this being a thing. And then I'm going to toss another crazy cookie at all of us.
Why do you like this, Dice?
5!
Why do you like this?
5. Well, you meet it. It reaches out and, like, scratches at you, and you bite back. Neither of you take damage. There's no, if it's met, nobody does damage to anyone, but you're kind of like swiping. He's swiping like a cat, and you're biting like a dog, over and off in the corner. The last one, that has been terribly injured, he is going to rush to try to get hold of the loop, the earring that's on the ground. He's going to try to search for it. So in this case...
But does he know what he's looking for?
He doesn't. So he will... You are totally right there. He does not know what he is looking for. So he will take a negative to it, to that roll, but he is still going to try.
Does he still take the negative if I point to it?
He does not. You can watch the young vampire, like, run over, and he's, like, searching the ground for something, though he's unsure of what. In this sense, it would be... In this case, it would be a sense roll, which is just a d6. If you help him, he'll get a +1 to it.
Yeah, I'm just pointing at it, like, with the toe of my shoe.
Okay, let's see if he can find it in the chaos.
Oh.
He cannot find it in the chaos. Maybe it was that sunlight that burnt his retinas earlier. But he's like, where? What are you talking about? As he, like, kisses up at you, who's pointing with your toe nonetheless, which is hysterical. Not very good. But that would be their turns. Totally incompetent. And it's now your turn, Morrowind. If you would like to show us how it's done.
Yeah, so, I would like to stop time.
Okay.
Which, essentially will give me an additional action on my turn. I'm not sure exactly how all of that works because I'm not sure if stopping time is one action and I would have normally had one action. Like, I'm not sure what.
Okay,
Let's see. An additional action on top of that.
What kind of magic is stop time? That's like magic time alteration?
Time and space.
Time and space. Okay, I just want to pull it up because I want to read it.
Page 51 in the main.
Perfect! You answered my question. So page 51. Yeah. Time stop. A witch can stop time, allowing her to perform one more action in that scene. That action is at a +5 to the roll if the witch is the only person who has stopped time, and you are. So basically, you will get to take your normal action, which is going to be to cast time stop, and then by doing that, you get to take another action of your choosing in the time stop that gives a +5 to it.
Okay, I follow.
Cool.
Cool.
So let's just get the cast to start with, and just make sure you don't flat out like botch the casting of
This
it.
is magic plus casting plus space time.
Whatever. Yeah, you're rank 2. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah.
You guys are pretty powerful witches. You learned a lot the last semester.
Oh, do you add? So I knew you added your casting skill.
Make sure you add the rank as well.
You also add the rank. Oh, Percy's roll should have been way better.
I was about to say, so make sure there are basically 3 things you do. You roll the actual die, your magic die, plus casting, plus the rank within the type of spell it is.
Okay.
Well, I should have had a +4 to all that.
Yeah,
Well, doggone. Ooh.
Now we know.
At an 18, that is an incredible roll. So yeah, you just
that's normal for me.
Yeah, tell me, how do you stop time?
Well, I kind of roll my eyes at this incompetent vampire on the ground who just cannot find a hoop. It's right there. But you know what? This whole thing is chaotic, and basically, I know that I need to get it back to my mistress, and so I just roll my eyes in order to stop everyone from getting out, just kind of like raise my hands with my wand in one hand, and just like this pulse emanates out, and just like everything stops. And like everyone's frozen in the chaos, and I bend down to pick up the hoop and revert it to its original form.
Okay, so to revert it back, it will be, what did we call that earlier? It's
Spellbreaker?
Spellbreaker, not Dispel Magic, that's my D&D in me. Spellbreaker. So it would be, again, your magic die, casting, and then plus Spellbreaker.
+5 for the time stop spell.
Oh, that's right, and you get the +5 because you're in the time stop. Absolutely right. You're gonna totally break this. I can feel it.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, she's like, yeah, duh.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Hurry and roll the dice. Why aren't you rolling the dice? It's saying rolling the dice, ...
But it's not rolling the dice.
It's not rolling the dice. Why is this so complicated? Roll 20.
Roll.
Okay,
20.
but I mean, essentially, it's a 5 plus a 4 plus a 3 plus whatever I roll.
Okay, so that's going to be plenty. So yeah, you manage to dispel it, and when you do, it goes from being a gold hoop to back being this kind of. It looks like a sticky bun. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, a 14 is fine. You only needed a 12.
That was like a really low roll for me.
It was. Maybe your sister's magic is stronger than you think. But now it's just a rock version of what looks to be the once was sticky bun. And it's in your hand. And as you revert it
to my mistress.
She is currently locked in battle, but you can definitely walk over to her.
But also frozen in time for like that split second.
Very true story. This is a very, very true story. And
she's gonna be so freaked out when you pop up right next to her.
Yeah, and as you get close, time
I think
picks up.
she's used to that.
Yeah, and you're like there next to her, and she turns as she's trying to she's holding, still trying to suck the soul of Aurora Mist, and it's not working. And we will see what she does next round. I know we're going a smidge over time, but I gotta know how this ends. Loretta.
All right. Loretta sees Morwen pop up next to Celeste with the little hoop ring.
It's
And
now the rock. It's the rock.
rock, and she casts Swarm
Ooh.
on Celeste, that area right by Celeste.
Okay, tell me what
So-
Swarm does.
Okay, so Swarm. This spell creates a swarm of non-poisonous but annoying insects aimed at a target or an area. The swarm does not attack the witch who created it, but everyone else in the area, friend or foe, is attacked for the duration or until the swarm is destroyed. It has 2 life points. Those attacked are so annoyed by the little bites and buzzing that they get -1 to their rolls.
So as this swarm comes in, I'm guessing it's swarming Celeste, Mistress Celeste.
Yes.
Uh,
So I just need to roll that.
Yep,
So that
give it a roll. Let's see if it happens.
So let's see here.
Yes.
Plus casting.
Morwen is like shocked that all of her sisters are apparently such goody two shoes. Like
Oh,
shocked.
I also get a +1 for that because I'm trying to help and be nice. So
Oh, that's right. You did get the plus, so
That's
12. That definitely will do it. The spell casts no problem. They begin to swarm both Morwen and Mistress Celeste, who stand within reach of one another. It is about this time as chaos is beginning to ensue. You can see that they are still trying to get the doors open, and it's not working. And you hear the tiny voice and the of a lizard that begin to make people small. Witches are shrinking. And there's a crack in the wall where your sister Daria Deerheart is moving witches out through this small crevice in the wall. She's trying to get them out of the space. She is working.
Dang it, Daria.
Yes.
I love Daria.
Yeah, she's working so hard to get everybody out, knowing that maybe making them small is the better option. Raven.
Raven is feeling extremely betrayed right now.
So is Morwen.
Okay. So, Raven is going to cast Step on a Crack on Morwen and her master, her mistress, whatever you call
What does
her.
step on a crack do?
It is on page 48.
Okay.
Bottom left, just above Zip It.
Okay, alright, I'm with you.
It says, a spell based on the popular rhyme, Step on a Crack, break your mother's back. This curse requires 2 targets, and for both to be under the spell. Each target feels the other's pain as their own for the duration of the spell.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, this is heartbreaking.
Alright.
You want to be with her? Fine.
Oh my
So,
God.
You chose your
You all
side.
say yes.
so, what is it? So you're gonna have to roll it. Now, again, she's an ancient witch, so she has basically what is innate resistant against magic. You guys should all have resistance against magic. What is yours, Morwen? Your resistance level?
Mine's 11.
Oh, I forget.
I can always look
It's-
that up.
It's next to your zap points on the sheet.
My sheet accidentally cleared.
Oh, that's okay, baby.
no.
That's okay. Let's do,
Well, mine's 11.
that's
Mine's
probably,
yeah,
usually it's
mine's
11 or 12. So in this case, I'll just say yours is 12 to make it easy. So, what did you roll, Raven, to cast the crack? Because you'll have to cast it and see if it affects them. Oof.
This is, shoot, what is it?
Where was
It does not say.
I was about to say, it should be your
It's
magic
your-
die.
Curse.
Magic die?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what type of magic it is.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it's a curse.
It is
Curse.
considered a curse, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do.
Oh my goodness.
Do y'all know where resistance is listed? Because I'm like frantically trying to put things back together.
Oh, yeah, sure, baby. It should be, when you go into the building.
It was in the character build section. I don't remember.
I just gotta
If you're looking at the fillable PDF, it's on the left side, the left column, about halfway down the page. It's just above zap points and where it goes into like your magic spells.
Right. I just want to make sure I can tell her exactly. So that's your signature spell. That's your spell list. I think if you somewhere between page like 20 and 29 probably will tell you what that is.
Yeah.
The hard page numbers, but
That's
not.
the best
Oh.
I could do. It's not.
At a 9. So in this case, it does cast, but it's not enough to affect her.
Do you have a rank in curse?
No.
Or the spell? Okay.
Yeah, so you just
No.
flat out cast
Raven
it.
Raven is pulling something that is not normally something that she would do.
I was about to say, this is
Right.
not at all your speed.
No, this is not at all her normal style, but she is angry.
Yeah.
I love
Her
it.
sister 100% betrayed her. She is so angry
Yep.
right now.
So something begins to happen again. You cast it, and you see her back almost give, and she's like, and she fights it again, trying to press that soul-sucking magic again forward towards Aurora. It becomes Percy's turn.
So Percy, I think by now probably has made it to the stage. So she's gonna climb up to try to get Princess down. But as she passes the vine-held vampire, she kind of caresses one of the vines and casts Green Thumb, which is her signature spell, and it can cause plants to grow rapidly.
Oh!
So she's going to just help those vines grow to their complete full potential and just get stronger.
Okay, cool.
So
His is only a d6 for body, so again, it's going to be very hard for him to break these. Yeah, no problem. They get even stronger, and they begin to, like, grow up. You watch one, like, enter his nostril, and it begins to, like, pull him down to the ground. Your other classmate, Lucinda Nightbane, the princess, still is, like, wiggling free. You can see the ropes are beginning to tatter more and more. She may fall at any point. She sits about 10 feet above the stage.
Percy, I guess, is just going to try to figure out what she can to either help catch her, or if she can pull a chair over to, like, get up higher.
Okay.
To help her, but she can't, like, get...
So you let's say you managed to cast that, bind the vampire down, we'll say permanently for the rest of this session, and you find a chair that you'll be able to move next round if you want to try to reach her in some way. It's also backstage, so there's probably ladders for the theater department and all of that kind of stuff.
Perfect. So that Percy's just trying to figure out what she can get right now to get up there to help her down.
All right. Next up, Jess.
All right. Where is the rock? Who has the rock?
The rock is currently in the hand of Morrowind, being passed to.
All right. Seeing that, Jess is just going to do one of her broom riding, like, moves as a wolf. So she's just gonna run at the stone and just try and nab it, like, in her like jaws.
Okay, cool.
She'll...
Yeah, so you'll make it, basically it's like a normal attack versus a magical attack. And again, I'm going to give you the 2 for the werewolf piece of this to it, so
Okay.
your body die plus 2 against its
Okay.
body die.
Yeah.
Why are you being this way? Roll 20. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, rolled 5. It takes 2 points of damage again as you nip away at him. Okay.
All right.
Sweet. Celeste's turn. She reaches out and grabs the stone. You watch as when she does so, she releases the crystal and the magic that's shooting from it, as if really this is the most important thing. And she looks right at Morrowind. And she says, "Your dedication will not go unnoticed. But I must do this." And she reaches again into her cloak and pulls from it a dagger, black as onyx. She says, "The stone requires blood." And you watch as your mistress, your mentor, slices her own throat, and it spills forth into her hands all over this stone sticky bun. And it spills across the floor. Those that are still around gasp. Everything almost goes quiet. Her body hits the floor. The stone hits the floor, now covered in blood, and you hear Aurora Mist go, "No!"
I'm screaming too.
Yeah, she gurgles, and the stone comes to a final rest, almost in slow motion. It absorbs every ounce of red blood that is on it. As it does so, the stone turns from its normal grayish, neutral tone to a thick black, that of onyx stone, straight from the heart of a volcano. It absorbs into the ground, and a giant crack begins to break down the center of the ballroom. Those that are left begin screaming. The three Britneys are still in the corner screaming. And we'll say the combat ends as her body lies limp and Aurora Mist runs over and begins patting the ground around, trying to find where it is, though potentially too late. And she looks up at everyone and she goes, "We must leave. Now!" As she conjures an archway, a doorway, into the wall, and she says, "Everybody, quickly!" As your sister begins moving them out. She stands over Morrowind. Do all of you leave?
I guess if Percy can get Lucinda down, she'll help her out.
Yeah, you're able to kind of get her down. You can also use... She's on the rigging system. She's attached to the fly system, so you can also go that way. Mm-hmm.
Well, then Percy would have brought her down from the rig.
Perfect.
Then.
Yeah, you help her down and undo it, and she's being Miss Lucinda Nightmaid. How dare you? You know, just like...
No time, we have to go. And Percy's like trying to pull her.
I imagine you put the gag back in her mouth. And you
remove the blindfold, put the gag back in, like, we're going.
Yeah, you help her through this kind of dimensional doorway that has appeared, this portal on the wall. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, you just see like a wolf like with a red dress in its mouth just like go through the portal.
Yeah, Raven probably would have grabbed anybody who looked like they were going too slow, grabbed them, hopped on Bernard, and shot through the portal on her broom.
I love it.
Retta's just finally coming out of the whole combat high and then just kind of looking around. Billy?
Yeah, she would have grabbed Loretta.
I was about to say, as you say that and you turn behind you, you see Billy. But it is not the Billy you knew. He enters shirtless, wearing some kind of strange, like, armor, pauldrons only. This kind of waisted, almost like skirt-type tunic piece along his bottom, boots, and he carries a giant sword. And he comes kind of bursting into the room, slaying vampires, running them through, killing them almost instantly.
Keepers.
And yeah, exactly. He makes eye contact with you long enough to go, "I had a great time!" As you, your sister Raven pulls you through, Loretta.
See you at work tomorrow?
What a butt.
Ooh.
Yeah, now... Morrowind, you stand there over the body of your mentor, along with Miss Aurora Mist. The space is empty and quiet, except for the sounds of poofing vampires, dusting vampires. And she waits for you.
I am just staring at her. I'm watching my friends go behind her. And I'm trying not to cry.
She puts a very ginger hand on your shoulder, considering the fact you now know how powerful she actually is. She says, "Morwen, we must go." She gave her life for something she believed in. And you helped her. Why would you do such a thing?
This is what I believe in. This is what I've always believed in.
Is this what you believe? Or what she believed?
I think right now, Morwen's really struggling because on one hand, this is literally what she's been taught her entire time as a witch until she was thrown in time to like kind of end up here. And she's done kind of that thing where like she just tuned out any negativity about Echidna during her time at Willow Mist, but she's also like thinking of her friends, and she's thinking of like what they would want. But then she's also, on the flip side of that, she just feels truly and deeply betrayed, because she genuinely thought that they would understand and be there for her and not like react so negatively. And so I think she's just kind of staring at Aurora Mist, and she's caught up in her words, and then she vanishes.
Oh, you vanish.
I vanish.
She reaches out for you before you go, and you can hear her off in the distance as wherever it is that you teleport yourself to.
I'm actually not teleporting, I'm vanishing.
Oh, that's okay. So you're not like vanishing to another location, you're just going invisible.
It's essentially I go to another dimension for a meanwhile.
Ooh. Do you have a preference of your dimension?
Something dark and quiet and alone where I can just exist for a bit.
Great. This is what you wish for. And when it comes to witch magic, what we most desire is what manifests. And you wish for a quiet place. A place that you will feel comfortable. Aurora Mist reaches for you as if to hug you before you vanish into another dimension. And you hear her voice off in a shadowy, echoey place say, "We still love you." As you land in a dark and empty place. You've been here before in a dream. Water 2 inches on the floor. As far as the eye can see, it is blackness. Except for a figure that appears off in the distance. She is not your mentor, but she is beautiful. Her hair is long and touches the ground, almost merging with the water, as does her dress that she wears. Her nails are long and black. They begin to curl at the ends. And the attire she has on seems ancient. Fur, leather, not polyester and modern day things. Her eyes glow red. Her voice fills the space as she says, "Welcome, my follower." Come. You will have a home here. And she simply gestures for you to begin walking into the distant darkness with her.
Morwen had kind of like immediately, like upon arriving, just like curled up in a ball with her knees tucked up to her chest and her black dress kind of spilling out all over the place. But as this figure beckons for her, she reaches out.
Her hand...
Kind of tears in her eyes a little bit.
She helps you up and wipes away your tears. And she says, "Oh, child, do not cry, for it is a time to rejoice. For my awakening has almost come."
And with that, Morwen will give kind of a sad smile and follow her.
And she simply takes, your face in her hands. You can feel her fingernails against your pale and delicate skin. And she says, "I hope you are proud of your mentor. She has served me well, and now you will take her place." And she walks hand in hand with you as your feet drag through the water, off into a black distance for what hopes to be Morrowind's next witch girl adventure. The rest of our witches exit through the portal that Aurora Mist so aptly provided, which plops all of you back onto the front lawn, staring at the main house where your classes are held, where the banquet hall is, everything that you know, your home here at Willow Mist. And there is a giant crack that has split the building in twain, and from it beams an empty, horrible, dark light straight up into the side. You can see it. It's purple and black. And following right behind Aurora Mist burst free also at the very last moment, gallantly in his own gladiatorial way, Billy. And
Percy rushes the headmistress. She's like, "Where's Morwen?"
She says, "Shh, shh, shh. Wait for it." As if she knows that this is not the end. And as everybody on the lawn stands in silence, staring at the school, the blue light, or this purple dark light that begins to build into the sky, poof, outward across, and rocks every tree, every building. Rocks fall from the already split building, and something begins to arise from the ground along the, I guess we could say, the stoop or the front steps, as if forming itself from the concrete and rock itself. A giant statue. And she simply leans over and she says, "And it has begun. Her rise is here." The statue is that, of course, of the Dark Witch, the Shadow Witch. She stands 10 feet tall, pedestal base made of skulls, stone skulls. Her hand reaches outwards, matching that of how she offered it to Morrowind to stand. Now in the front stoop of Willow Mist marks a place of awakening and birth for the darkest of witches. Miss Aurora Mist turns and addresses everyone, and she says, "Ladies, mortals, and everyone in between." And she eyeballs Billy. "I am sad to say that we have lost one of our students today. Morwen Locke will not be joining us again next semester. I'm going to ask that everybody go home. Witches, please find your bunks and pack your bags. Those of you that were to go home tomorrow will go home. Those of you that were meant to stay, we have some campus upkeep to attend to." As she obviously gestures to the split building. "It is a dark day for Witch Society. We have not seen something like this in almost 50 years. If you didn't stand on the side before, you will now. So I suggest, as you make your way to your bunks, and you pray to the goddess tonight, you ask her to keep the shadows from your mind. For it only takes one choice to betray your sisters. An event punishable by permanent death." She looks up at the moon as if she is telling the time. It is midnight. The solstice has come and gone. It is in fact a time for new beginnings. And an unfortunate birth. Quickly, back to your bunks. And she kind of chops, and girls like, oh, and like split, mortals run back down the road.
Loretta runs to Billy.
He's sweaty and muscular, and very much wielding a sword.
"So, this is what you do with your spare time?"
He kind of looks really embarrassed. Kind of. I'm not really supposed to, I have to go now.
Billy?
Mm-hmm.
I had a really good time. Before all the murdering and the vampires and everything, but
Yeah.
then I still kind of had a good time. I'll see you at work.
Yeah. And he leans down and very gingerly kisses you on the cheek. And then the hand. Until tomorrow, Miss Loretta Matry. And he begins running towards the woods, because that's clearly
watching him run towards the woods.
Quite a few witches are, and he bolts across the lawn towards the thick of the woods, away from town, in fact. The four of you, I'm sorry, are left standing on the lawn. Oh, nope, 5 of you, including Tiny Daria and a lizard.
So Percy, as soon as the headmistress dismissed everyone, walks kind of defiantly over to the statue, and she pulls off one of her earrings. They are little like vials, and they look like they have seeds in them. That look like it might be lavender, but actually one of them's a rose seed. And she's going to pull that seed out and place it in the ground at the foot of the statue and cast Green Thumb. And she's going to grow a light purple rose in honor of Morwen. And then she's going to cast a little bit of light to shine down on the rose. And then she's going to look up at the statue. And she's going to say, "You don't get to have my sister." And she's going to walk off towards the bunk.
Oh, so beautiful. Miss Aurora, Miss Stop all 4 of you on the way. And she brings you all in for a hug. Because that's who she is. And she says, "Percy, that is beautiful. I know that you all may feel betrayed. But she is your sister. She is not anything but lost. And it is our job to find her. Her mind has been skewed by that of her mentor. We hope to bring her here to change that. And I have failed her and you. I promise you, when this solstice break is done, I will dedicate everything to finding her and bringing her back here. But she's going to need sisters that love her." And she looks right at Raven. And then Jess, Percy, Loretta, and then down at the ground at Tiny Daria and the lizard. It is not powers that make witches strong. It is our clique, our coven. Only with them are we powerful. For by ourselves, we are nothing. Now go, ladies. Please, leave her things unpacked. I have a feeling Morwen Locke will be back. And Miss Aurora Mist turns and walks up to the same statue you did, noting the rose, and she begins to cast a few spells on the statue as if to potentially bind it from coming to life, trying to keep it in its statuary state. I'm guessing the 4 of you probably walk across a long and deep silence to your room.
Yeah. Jess is gonna have to dash there first because she's still a wolf.
Correct. You bolt towards your room door, probably scratching at the door as your sisters finally arrive. And the 5 of you enter your room. Over the last 4 days, this room has yet to be filled with 6 sisters. Every night, one of you have been missing. And tonight it looks like one of you may be permanently missing. Lights shut off all across the campus, yours being the last one. But there is an embering light from inside of the main banquet hall. The Yule log still burns, waiting to let out its last ember, as a sign, a beacon, that the witches never burn out, and there is no darkness that cannot be pushed away by that of light. And that is where we end our Witch Girl adventure.
Yay!
At least this Witch Girl adventure. Awesome.
Don't let me over here sniffling. It's
So many
fine.
feels, so many feels. Okay, so what I want to do, I know we're a little over, and I greatly appreciate all of you staying for the extra time. I know we got a little late start, so let's go around, tell everybody who you are and where we can find you online. What are you busy doing? What's coming up in the new year for you? And then we're gonna, for those of you that can't stay, you're welcome to. I'm gonna have just a quickie Q&A for anybody in chat that wants to hang out and ask questions about Witch Girls. I'm also gonna do a very small review because this is a brand new game I've never played before. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a peek. So let's go backwards with the way we started. We are actually going to start with Shauna.
Oh man, this is so fun. But yeah, Shauna, Flying Cirrus on Twitter. Yeah, so my other games is that's happening this week is tomorrow, Hell's Rebels, which is a D&D game where we are fighting back against a infernal government, and that's tomorrow, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Parsper RPG, and most of the other shows are going to be on hiatus, but there should be some announcements in the beginning of the year, so exciting stuff.
Nice, very cool. Well, make sure you follow all the ladies, of course, because if you don't follow, you'll never know what they're up to. Moving right on down the line to our darkest sister. How are you, Renee?
Hi, I'm doing well. I really didn't know what was going to happen with her this week, and so I think it ended in a good story way, with some hope for the future, but also nothing so cliche as another heel toe turn. So, yeah, I think that I had a great time. I'm really, really glad I got to be here. I really love Morwen. She has a lot of depth to her, I think. Things that she genuinely believes that will be interesting to see as she grows, if she ever gets to return for another Witch Girl adventure. And you can find me at RayDNR on Twitter, and a part of a number of other projects, including Fate and Fable Maidens, which is my all-women, family-friendly D&D podcast at Fate FM Cast on social media, or at fatefmcast.com. I also just got to record with North by Northwest, so shout out to them.
Yeah!
Podcast OBS. And really excited for that episode to come out sometime in January.
Fantastic.
And then last but not least, you can find me streaming in various places on the internet. I will be doing a couple of holiday games on Scraticus Academy, and I will be back running Dynama on Wednesday nights on Scraticus Academy starting in January, and I'll be playing on the Nerd Immersion Rise of Tiamat stream, which is every other Monday night, on alternate Mondays to Chelsea's. But yeah, you can find me there, again, starting back in the new year, and again, also some other things that have yet to be announced, but I'll be sure to let you know as soon as I can.
Yeah.
All right. Lots and lots of places that you can find. Renee. Moving across. Eris Savad.
Hello. Well, to start off with Raven, she's a little upset.
Yep. Yep.
She's
Yeah.
just a tad. It's going to take a lot for Morwen to be forgiven. Let's just say that. Because Raven knows that Morwen broke her spell. Trying so hard not to curse at all.
RPG.
I'm trying. So yeah, Raven's not happy. It's gonna take a lot for Morwen to get back in her good graces, if at all. So we'll see how that goes.
If that goes.
If that goes, we'll see how that goes. If it does. I am Eris Savad. You can find me making dice trays and dice bags and other awesome accessories on twitch.tv/ErisSavad. You can buy my creations on erissavad.com. You can see all the stuff that I'm making and all the good stuff that I'm doing if you follow me at Twitter at ErisSavad. I made it really easy for everybody. Super duper easy. Next season starting in January, I will be on the Scraticus Academy's Dragon Heist game every Tuesday at 6.
Nice.
So you can find me there. I'm going to be playing with some awesome people. So I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Speaking of,
That's the only one I have right now.
awesome.
Yeah.
The only one. Listen to all the things you said, though. Yeah, sorry, that's the only game
That's
I'm
the
in,
only
but I do
game.
1,000
That's the
other
only game
things.
I have,
Right now.
but I do a lot of other stuff.
Fantastic. And our lovely gluttonous geek. See what I did
yes,
there?
I think Loretta is just a little shocked finding out more things about her mother, and apparently her place in the world is much more involved than she even really knew it herself to have it be. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that might develop. And but anyway, my name is Catherine Barson Eastis. I am a food blogger. I run the Gluttonous Geek, which does recipes inspired by video games, movies, television shows, and also tabletop RPGs, as well as a lot of independent podcasts and other role-playing groups. This upcoming week, I will be posting an Adventure Zone themed recipe based off of the newest Amnesty arc, Ned Chicane's Gruel Hot Pockets. So.
That's awesome.
Yay!
Which were delicious. We had them this morning, and also starting in the new year,
Fantastic.
I am looking at starting my own Twitch channel, just mostly as a supplement to the blog, and doing monthly cooking classes live, as well as probably weekly sort of snacks. Well, I'm also painting miniatures, so I'm going to call it Minis and Munchies. So
That's so cute.
that's in the works, as well as starting up my Patreon account, and that's also in the works. So just look forward to this upcoming year, and it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah. All right, ladies, make sure that you're dropping your links down there, because everybody's like, wait, Hot Pockets? How do I find this thing you're talking about? To make sure you drop your links in the chat so they can find you. Yeah.
One.
Yep, and then last but certainly not least is Tiffany.
Hello. Thank you guys for coming. Percy is in a state of determination, and she's gonna get her sister back, and she's
I
like
so
mad.
appreciate Percy right now.
Like when she was like, she's not here, like the fudge. She's like not okay with it. So yeah, just pure determination. She's like, we're gonna fill her bed again with her body. And yeah, but you can find me, my full name is Tiffany Alvord. You can find me online as RTS Cosplay. It stands for Rattle the Stars, which I like never get to tell anybody. So I do a lot of sewing, a lot of cosplay, a lot of making stuff. But also, if you want more gaming adventures, you can find me as a producer / player / GM for the podcast North by North Quest, which I do with the lovely Chelsea as well. And Renee just recorded a guest spot with us. So yeah, please check out the podcast. It's Dungeons and Dragons story play, and it's pretty awesome, I've got to say. So that's at NXN Quest or northbynorthquest.com, and you can find everything we're doing there. That's really my game, is the podcast.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
It's a lot, but it's really fun, and I loved this game and this system, and it was everything 16-year-old Tiffany could have wanted.
Well, that makes my heart warm to hear, because the only thing I look to please is 16-year-old Tiffany.
Yeah. Like, it just is.
Awesome. Cool, and I am Little Red Dot. You can find me online as such in all of the Twitters and the Twitches. I play a lot of tabletop RPGs on a lot of awesome networks, and in the new year I've got a mostly new lineup coming to my schedule, which I'm terribly excited about, and I can actually start telling you guys what that looks like. Again, you can catch me every other Monday over at Nerd Immersion's channel when Renee's not playing. We're playing through Princess of the Apocalypse, the longest Princess of the Apocalypse campaign that has ever campaigned, for sure. But we're over there doing it. We're figuring it out. And then you can check me out starting in January. on Wednesday nights to continue this series, actually, which is part of the Little Red Dot monthly indie series, where I take an indie game and we play through it in 4 games as like a mini campaign to give you a little view of what the gameplay is actually like. We just closed out Capers last month. This month we're doing Witch Girls. In January we're going to be playtesting some of my own original content using Fate Core for a game called Fate of the Appliance Wars, which is heavily based off of the Brave Little Toaster, and will be almost like an alternate timeline, as if the Brave Little Toaster movie never happened. What happens instead if a giant nuclear explosion pushes the souls of humans from them into the appliances around them?
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be ridiculous, and I'm so excited, and the cast is fantastic, so I start making cast announcements next week for that. You can also check me out, obviously, on the North by Northwest podcast, which also comes out on Wednesdays. Thursday evenings, I'm gonna be on Pro Restarter's channel, DMing a brand new D&D campaign that I've written called The Little Things, where we look at Faerun through the eyes of children. What does it mean to be a literal 0-level hero that moves up into your first level of whatever that is. And my Friday nights are free for a while. Saturdays you can catch me in a Vampire the Masquerade campaign over on Roll For It's channel. On Sundays in the new year, gosh, I gotta think, you'll be catching me. My Cypher System game is closing out, so I'm moving over. I can't announce that one yet because it's not been public, so I'll tell you more about that, so you want to just follow me so I can tell you about it. So lots of things coming in the new year, and I'm going to be doing a lot more writing. So if you don't know, there are lots of ways that you can support me, this channel, and all the many channels that I get to play on. And I am excited to announce that I am looking to make Witch Girl Adventures a long-term campaign in the spring. I hope to bring as many of these ladies back that will come to play this game, but the outpouring and the love from our from all of you at home has been extraordinary. So if you want to come talk up this game, you want to chat about it, you want to chat with these ladies, and just talk Witch Girl Adventures and what it's going to mean for something in the spring, give me your ideas or your thoughts, your theories as to what's going to happen with both Morrowind and this great dark witch. You can do so by actually coming and joining my Discord. My Discord is a perfect place for that. We have lots of chats. Every game I have has a channel. These ladies are all in it. You can come chat with them. And I make a lot of my posts there. But if you're not necessarily into the Discord, you can also just follow me on Twitter. Now, get those questions ready, people, because I want to take maybe 10 minutes and just quick talk about a few things. I'm going to start out by telling you from the perspective of the person that ran and wrote the campaign, what I saw coming into the book very early on, and then I'd love to give these ladies a quick chance to just give me some quick popcorn ideas of what you liked about the game. So, for me, I have to say one of the things that drew me to this is that it is a tabletop RPG that is perfect for ages 13 plus. So a lot of you, I get the question all the time, what about RPGs for kids or teens? This is a great game for that. It is so perfect for it. It's very encouraging for that age group and empowers so much of a younger generation because it is teens and witch girls, and I just really love that. Obviously, I chose an all-female cast because the other thing I really love about it is it does empower the female figure as well. So if you're looking for an all-female driven game, this is a great option to go along with that. In addition, I have to say, I'm thoroughly impressed at how much Witch Girl content Malcolm has written. Holy crap. If you don't know, there are literally 20 PDFs available to you on discount for this game. There's like a special one for techno witches. There's a whole like books and books and books and books. So if you want to get that, actually he's running a sale right there, 20 PDFs for $25, or you can get all 20 PDFs plus the printed book, I think for $47, which is like a steal. 43, even better. Yeah, crazy. It's like a huge steal. So if you want to get your hands on it, you can do that. Malcolm has provided a special link right there for all of you. Thanks for you tuning into this channel. But in addition, I think one of the things I really liked was the way it's not based on a single dice system. Like, not everything's based on a d20 roll plus things. It has a ranged dice system where you actually assign a dice per your skill, or per your kind of attributes, as we like to call them in the D&D realm. And I think for me, that was something I found really interesting, because you got to use everything but a d20, right? D4 through d12, and you got to put in your witch power based upon the dice base that you chose versus everything else. So for me, that was something I really enjoyed. And as well, obviously, if you didn't watch the first episode, I adored the lore and history that Malcolm has written for this world. It is incredible. It inspired me so much that, in fact, it became the basis of... I always knew that they were going to try to raise her, but I did not know that it was going to be focused around a sticky bun. That was completely unplanned. That was completely unplanned. But I really did love the lore, and I think the lore is really what drew me in, because to me, it doesn't feel like any other witch lore. And it doesn't feel like Harry Potter or any of these things that we already know. It has its own unique setting that I found just truly inspiring to play and to DM, to write for. So I could have wrote like a 20 campaign episode, which is why I think I'm just gonna have to do something in the spring, because I just have so many ideas and little things I want you to go do. And so that's kind of, from me, what I loved about Witch Girl Adventures. Let's just going around, just kind of popcorn out ideas of what you guys liked or what stood out for you.
I love the spells. I love the
So
spells
good.
so much. They were named so well. I love the way that they were written. Oh my gosh. It was fantastic. I loved it.
I like for the spells, the system really encourages you to write your own. So like you can really customize a lot, and especially with like how you have like it's kind of a point system for figuring out your skills. Like there's so much customization, but it doesn't feel overwhelming the way some other games can with the choices.
Right.
And I agree with you, Chelsea. I love that it feels so different from other witch lore. Like it didn't feel like, oh, I'm playing Harry Potter.
Right.
It felt like its own world, and I liked that we could really make it our own, and we could really embrace the fact that like we're in America, this is our culture, kind of the way, so I'm salty about J.K. Rowling's American stuff, just putting that out there. So I loved how much this felt fleshed out, and that you could do so much with it.
Yeah, for sure. And it feels stupidly fleshed out, obviously. Like I remember I sent them like there's also a free character building book, if you want to just go get that and get a taste. When I finally gave them the full PDF, they were like, holy cow! There's so much stuff!
Just the info on the school is just so much,
Yeah.
Yeah, the things you can get as a character, like, we didn't really get much into it, but, like, Morwen's owl time is, like, each of the animals that you can get can add something to, or they have their own abilities, and then the wands all have their own things, so you can
I didn't
really
even
kind
use
of,
my
like,
wand.
oh, I did. Cast
Well,
and
we
more spells with
cast.
that bad boy.
Yeah, it's like we cast our spells, so we
Yes,
had.
but you can save zap points if you use a wand.
True story.
Or if you're a Twitch witch like I am, and you can raise your
Right.
eyebrow, or
Oh,
Wiggle the
I
nose.
had a rustic wand and didn't even realize it gave me a plus to elementalism, which is
Yep.
like everything I cast.
Yep.
So, I mean, seriously though, because those are everywhere. I mean, there's like little bits and pieces of things you can do to enhance your character and really go the way you want to. Like, Morwen is absolutely a space and time witch. She can do it real good. And it's just like, it's fun because like some of the other things she struggles with, like socializing. So,
yeah, no
just to
doubt.
see her connect with these people like over time, I think was like a big thing for her, because that wasn't written into her character as something she was skilled at, but it was fun because like she could be that kind of like awesome space-time witch and stop the entire time in the ballroom, and then like but completely fail her conjuration finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and there's so much stuff. I mean, like I didn't even get to the point where I could conjure my imaginary friend, and you can make it in any particular form that you want. I kind of had a thing from the Addams Family, but that's
I love it.
so,
Yes.
I know. I feel like we just scratched the surface.
Yes.
I'm like, I want to go so much farther.
I want to go so much deeper. Yeah, I know all of you out there are freaking. You're like, what do you mean there's no male witches? Well, it is called Witch Girls Adventure. And the way the book kind of lays it out is that the gene or the thing it takes to be a witch is attached to the female genome. That being said, one of the conversations that I had with Malcolm is like, well, what if you have a character that is male but identifies as female? or
Yeah,
you
what
have
is
somebody
that?
that's made a transition. So it's about, it's kind of about, it's more about the mentality of the person and the actual physical. There's actually a section in here called Heritage where it looks at the genome piece of it. That being said, there are a lot of other options for what men can play, including the Immortals, which are usually a completely male-only line, and that's a lot closer to your, like, Paladin. Which is really what it is. It's like, it's a holy fighter that fights for good, but in this case you fight mystic things like vampires and werewolves, and you're the warrior class, and oftentimes work hand in hand to protect the witches. Yeah, so they're known as the Immortals. In terms of, I guess, the history in brief, the first witch, Lilith, had multiple children. 3 females and 1 male. The male being the 3rd child, and he was the Immortal. Mab and Isis?
It was Matt. Yeah, I think so.
Isis, yeah. Mab and Isis being the first 2, which are pure
Yeah.
witches. They have a lineage of witches as well. And then the last one, of course, being the witch that trying to be risen, who is was the...
She's the necromancer. in
Yeah,
the family.
she's the brooder, and she brought in the vampire lineage. She's the reason we have vampires. She is kind of the mother of them. So there's this, like I said, there's this incredible lore, and along with that, you get a lot of other things. Like we found out that Jess, of course, is part werewolf. Well, the werewolf line can be carried in any male or female, or any identification. The same thing's true for things like centaurs, fae, there are fairies, you even have things like mummies and all kinds of stuff. But the actual witch power itself is tied to the female genome. Okay, what else? What else did you guys really love?
I also liked the talents.
Talents are so cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I got the and I didn't even use this at all. I had the lackey and the trickster talent.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I had
and
calm.
And
Didn't really do much.
busybody.
Busybody.
Goody and busybody over
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
So when
I
you
love
build a witch girl, you get what's known as a heritage, and they're called a trait, right?
It's talent.
Talent.
And heritage.
Mhm.
That's it, talent. So you get a talent and a heritage. The heritage being something that's innate in your blood, kind of a thing that's maybe passed down.
like my jinx.
Right, like the jinx. You're just an
Right.
unlucky person, out of your control. But then you also have a talent, which is something that makes your witch unique, or more specified. And they're brilliant. One of the things that I really love too is this, like, the way everything's written, like the way the spells are written, the way the talents are written. I was gonna flip and show you guys some of the talents that they have, because they're just hysterical. Yeah, like ruffian, snob, zap happy. That one killed me. So many.
Because Percy, her heritage is Hexbreaker, so
Uh-huh.
like she just instantly understands how to break spells.
Right.
And then she like can resist curse magic just because she like gets it. But I liked that like you could pick talents and then you can pick skill, like, so then you have skills, which they span so much stuff, but then like you
So
can kind of
much.
merge them, which is really fun.
You can also have mundane, so there's 2 sets of skills. You get magical skills, which are obviously very specific to being in the magic world, and then you get your mundane skills, which I think are also really, really cool. Those are things that mundanes do, like dancing, and stuff like that. The kind of average thing that...
Gossip.
Yeah, gossip. The stuff that all
It's a
people
skill.
can do. Technology, those kind of things. So, yeah.
That was cool.
Anybody else want to toss out some things that they loved? And then I'm going to take questions if anybody has them. So if you guys have questions for chat, go ahead and start tossing your questions out now, please.
Yeah. So I would say, because Willow Mist had like a huge section in the core rulebook, the way it's set up in there's kind of like levels of students, and it actually goes as young as like 6 to 9.
Yep.
So I think you could really easily scale this for elementary school as well. And I have a little girl, and I'm like, can't wait for her to just be a hair older, because I want to
Yep.
be like, let's be witches.
Yeah, let's be
Which
witches
is
together.
what we're doing now.
I want to get my daughter's 10, and
Yeah.
she's just hitting that like tweenage stage.
Oh.
So I really want to get like a few, like my nieces who are like a year older and younger, and maybe like a few of our friends, and take them all through Witch Girls.
It'd be so much fun. It's actually, once you get the character sheet built, it's actually really easy. Like, once you, like, get it built.
My only problem is GMing is, like, a high anxiety thing for me. So...
I'd be so fascinated to do this with younger girls because like I'm a connoisseur of teen dramas and literature and things. So I'm like at that like 16-year-old level and I'm like, I want to know what a 10-year-old would do in which school.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the whole reason I got into the RPG community was to like create a family-friendly podcast where kids could listen, and like, so since kind of coming in with that mentality, I've just naturally gravitated to games that have that ease of access. D&D is not one of them. You can oversimplify it to get people started, but a lot of times it is just very like bogged down. And this is one of those games that like I feel like I could run with kids at our local game store or for a birthday party that they would really enjoy and like get into the things like getting a sticky bun or turning someone into a frog. Like it just it speaks to that, and I love that because that's really, I mean, that's why I ended up here. That's how I ended up here. I love that.
Well, I actually I'm looking forward to possibly running this game. Well, I'm Chelsea, Little Red Dot and I, we work for the same high school, and I know a lot of the girls aren't really. I think they don't really approach the RPG stuff as much because it's the community is still kind of geared towards men. But to have something that they could play in, but also the guys could join in and be witch girls too, and we could just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, one of the things that if you go deeper into some of the other books and look at some of the other things, witch girls are often, especially as they get older in their academic studies, the headmistress will often send them on special adventures, which is why it's called Witch Girl Adventures, and they actually get to leave campus and go do things for witch societies, such as retrieve a sticky bun or kill a thing or do a thing or return a sister, and more often than not, even though witches are equipped with lots of magic, sometimes you need other skills and other people. So a lot of the time, oh, thank you out there for the host, just in time to be done. A lot of the headmistresses will also send an immortal to go with you, right? To protect you from the tougher things that may be heavily magic resistant, or an immortal that knows a very dark and deep area, like, you know, the Underdark kind of a thing, where it's not as easy to navigate. You may also get a centaur or a fae that's leading you through a very magical area that may come back to bite you. Oh yeah, no worries. We're actually doing a little bit of a Q&A because we did close out the campaign, so we're talking about witch girls. Somebody in chat asked what my favorite, I guess, race and class is. My favorite class, without a shadow of a doubt, is druid. Like, I will always and forever be a druid at my core. For more than likely, if I had played a witch, I would have gone with this like elemental herbalism witch.
Like Percy.
Yeah, kind of like Percy, just because that's who I am. But in terms of a race, it's always really interesting. I've come to, I used to be a dwarf, like, through and through, and the older I get, the more I'm kind of converting to a gnome, I think. Like, truly, like, I just think I'm a gnome at heart. I'm a little too adventurous and lighthearted to be as grumpy as a dwarf anymore. Yeah.
Sorry, like, while we're on that subject, like, you saying you'd be an herbalism witch or something in this game, I can't stress enough how customizable it is.
So customizable.
Be an herbalism witch, but then take the different traits or heritage that make your character completely different and skilled at different things, because it really does have tons of options.
Yeah, and that's and that's actually, we customize, that's a good thing to bring up. We customized Marcy's character, who I know we didn't get to see a lot of in terms of her magic, but she liked the idea of her witch almost being kind of like rogue, in that she can't touch things, because when she does, it sucks, thanks RTS, it sucks life from something, but in sucking life from a thing, you then can give it and heal something else. So she wanted them to be, oh, thank you for those subscriptions out there. She wanted it to be intertwined. So what she was looking for is a way to use almost necromancy, where you suck the energy. We saw her do that today. Oh my gosh, so many subs! We're splashing the cup.
Wow.
And
this song does that.
You all get subs.
You all get subs. Thank you so much. Another one. It is like raining subs. Oh, for those of you that don't know, when you do sub, so thank you for those gift subs. When you sub, you get access to a few of my little emojis here on the channel. I believe the first tier gives you little sass. There's my little sass face, so now you can drop some sass across the internet.
Little sass.
Little sass. Go drop some sass across the web. Yep. So anyways, yeah, I think you're right that there's this high level of customization. You know, you came to me with something that you wanted. Marcy came to me with something she wanted, and it was so easy for me to quickly go, okay, we'll just bend here, we'll break there a little bit, and I don't have to come up with something entirely new. The world was just so rich and vivid. Yeah, that it was. So anybody else out there? Oh, another one. It is quite fierce. If you can't tell, there is a dice on my mouth, but you know, whatever. I believe if you sub at a higher level, you also get a little evil. There's me as Vader, and you also get, I think you get little. What is the other one? Little. Yeah, there it is. There's my sassy one with the eye patch. Like fierce and sassiness all out there.
Oh, Fluellen!
It is my Fluellen.
I love Fluellen.
That's a story for another day. So, as to why Chelsea's wearing an eye patch. But any more questions before we kind of close this out? We are getting close to the 10 mark, which is when I kind of wanted to let it go. But, you know, it comes as a highly recommended game for me. I'm going to drop that code one more time, the bundle code, for all of you. Because I highly encourage you to go get the bundle while you can, because this will be the last time I drop this link for all of you to gain access to the discounted books. Yes. And I want to think he also ran a Lucinda... He ran a discount after last week's episode with Princess Lucinda Nightbane, who is actually a major character in the Witch Girls like book. She's like a legitimate character across the Witch Girl like lore. Thank you again to Opera Geek for coming in and giving her all the mean girl that she had.
So good.
And
Love her so much.
gosh, she's so wonderful.
We've got a question.
Dropped the freebies, some freebies on the announcement chat, the announcement tweet that you made earlier, including like the quick start guide, a Lucinda book, and a coloring book.
There you go. Get your coloring book. Yeah, go check it out. And in addition, for those of you that are comic people, there's an entire Witch Girls comic as well. A comic line that tells, like, it just, you know, puts some of the story into action. And the book itself, which I have like a crappy printed copy here because I needed to be able to write all over it, but the book itself comes with a 12-page comic at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts
Which I just love. What is my favorite non-homebrew campaign in D&D?
Is it Princes of the Apocalypse?
If I say no, you won't tell Ted, right?
No, not a word.
Okay, good.
I don't think he would be upset.
I was about to say, that's probably not my favorite, only because...
I'll tell Ted right away.
Go tell him. No, don't. Please don't. I love him, and he almost killed me last campaign. So, my favorite D&D non-homebrew campaign is probably... What's the one with Zuchtmoy? That's Out of the Abyss, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just finished that one.
That's probably my favorite because, like, all hail Zuchtmoy.
Yeah.
All hail the great fungus prince. Or princess, or whatever you want to call it.
One that you survived.
One that you
well
survived.
Done, chat.
Bravo, Lord. Bravo. Yeah, the one I survived. But yeah, I would say Out of the Abyss is my favorite just because it has the Zuchtmoy line. If you guys don't know, I also have a smidge of an obsession with fungus. So, Zuchtmoy is all hail the great fungus.
Just a little.
Just a little. So, again, you know where to find all of us now. You know where to find Witch Girl Adventures, which please go out there and run it. I am a huge, passionate individual for, as much as I love D&D, which got me started in tabletop 12, 13 years ago, I have a particular interest in indie games, because as I begin to write more games myself, specifically for Fate Core, because that's my favorite, I am finding that I want to support a lot of other writers. So you can always come back here. I'm going to have a brand new tabletop game in February. That's not my content. That's somebody else's. I'm talking with them right now. So secrets. And I don't know about March. And then fingers crossed, if you guys help support me on Patreon, I've got a goal. I need exactly 5 more Patreon supporters to get to my first goal of launching an extended campaign. Literally 5. You can come in at $2 and you join the Little Red Dot Army, which is cool.
One of us.
Don't make me cast a spell on you. So come support it. Basically between now and April, all I need is for 5 more people to join the Patreon, and at any tier, at any level, and when that happens, we will of course launch a Witch Girls campaign probably in the spring. So I really hope
charm person on you.
Yeah. This is exactly the game you want to see. Go
This is
support
exactly
me.
what you wanted to say.
So we are going to let all of you go and move right along into the rest of your evenings. I wish you all a happy solstice. Tonight is, of course, the solstice, so light your Yule logs just so that you can stay safe, because you never know. There are dark spirits and Morrowind out there now. True.
No.
And I will leave you with this. Don't do anything Morrowind wouldn't do.
Oh.
I mean,
No,
Whoa.
wait, no, wrong. Don't
Whoa.
don't do anything Billy wouldn't do.
Ah,
Oh.
there it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Eris is like, I don't know, maybe.
We don't know what
Wait,
Billy does.
don't do anything. Don't do anything Bernard wouldn't do. Was it his name Bernard? The broom?
Yes.
Yes.
Broom.
Don't do anything. Be as straight as the broom.
There you go.
And
Nailed it.
I will actually see all of you next week. I'm going to be doing 5 days with Dot for the holidays. So every day but Christmas itself, you can turn into the channel. I'll be playing video games and all kinds of things, and you guys can come and just hang out with me. So I'll be doing a lot of streaming because I don't have to go teach children. Shh. So, again, don't do anything that Bernard would not do, and we will see all of
Morrowind
you.
wouldn't do what?
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 And we will see you
Monday
all
says what?
on the flip side. Yep, you guys will see me Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Till then, don't do anything the broom wouldn't do. Bye, guys.
Bye.